A very crucial test is about to take place. Welcome to Jarama, 20 kilometers away from Madrid in Spain. For the race exercise, it is season 11 and it's time for the simulation here in Spain. We are moments away from the race exercise getting underway. 24 laps around the Jarama circuit here in Spain. 20 kilometres, as I say, away from Madrid and the city centre as well. We're all set for an exercise to see how the new Gen 3 Evo cars are going to adapt. Are they up to it? Are they good enough? Will they be good enough? There is so much anticipation as we get ready. Now, the grid has been set on the previous runaround, so don't take too much into it when we say it about who's going to be where, when, and how. It is going to be a couple of different matters, but here's the information as to why it is so important in order to get all of this done. It is a crucial test, and it is a very crucial one. This test is the first time we've seen all the teams on track together with their new Gen 3 Evo cars. It's 0 to 60 in just 1.82 seconds, and this is going to be off the line. They're not going to do a standing start with 5 red lights and then going. What we are going to see is the procedure of them leaving the pit lane behind the safety car, and then we will have a green flag release and the race simulation will begin of 24 laps. Jack Pickering is going to be trackside for us as well. He's just getting into position. He'll show us the positions of the starts as well and give us all the information we need to see. He's just loading in to the Discord call shortly as well. And this is how they'll line up on the grid then. It's Pascal Wehrlein and Lucas de Grassi, Antonio Felix da Costa and Sebastian Buemi. Then we get Norman Nato, Stoffel Van Dorn, Nick De Vries, Zane Maloney, Ollie Rowland and Jean-Eric Verne, Jake Dennis, David Beckman, Dan Tickton, Nick Cassidy, Robin Friends, Eduardo Mortar, Taylor Barnard, Nico Muller, Jake Hughes, Maximilian Gunther, Sam Bird and Mitch Evans. Don't know why, but it's not an actual race. Let's get this straight. It's not going to be a 5 lights on, lights out, non-championship race. This is an exhibition. So what it is it's a simulation, basically. It's an exercise. We are just going to see how they all go and how they all turn up as Jack Pickering is in the boxes getting ready. Hello, Pico, to get into it. In fact, he's got his camera on now, and have you put it on a tripod, Pico? That is classic you, isn't it? Fab. How are you doing?
Yeah,
mate?
but I'm going to interview Chadwick. I'm good. Yeah, the cars have just left pit lane, so we should be seeing it shortly. Yeah, this is a very big moment for FE because the Gen 3 Evo, they will have a quicker 0 to 100 kp. I think it's 100 kph or 60 mile an hour, quicker than Formula One, and we're about to see it properly for the first time.
It does look insane. I don't know how much you've seen of the anticipation on social media, but everybody's looking forward to this because they need to get it right. So just explain what this race exercise is going to be and what you're expecting us to sort of have across the next 24 laps.
So what's going to happen is they're all going to go off 2 by 2, a little bit like Noah's Ark. And then basically it is a race run, but it's more importantly, it's not just to see the acceleration of the cars. That's what we're all excited about. It's all about attack charge and making sure that everything's working, ready for when we will use it later in the season. I don't think it will be in Sao Paulo.
You had a little bit of lag there, but you're back with us now as well. So are they on the formation laps behind the safety car with Bruno Famin driving it?
So they've just left the pit lane, so they'll probably be around about turn 8 at the moment. I'm sure you'll have your track mapper
hasn't loaded
up, and I'm not sure. I'm assuming that you'll be able to see it, but yeah, hopefully they'll be coming around the corner, and when they do, I'll flip the hopefully they'll line up 2 by 2, and then we'll be able to see it. I will adjust the camera so that hopefully you will be able to see each one, but I will try my best, and then I've got to run off and speak to James Shadwick.
Are you looking forward to talking to her about the questions? So, what are you going to be asking her about as well? As I think they're coming up to the grid now, actually, as well, in their procedure. Yeah, what are you going to ask Jamie? What questions have you got for her?
Well, it's more about the women's test and how progressive and everything like that is. Obviously, she's got previous FE experience. She did the test in Saudi Arabia just for, about 5 years ago now, and she's done a couple other tests here and there. But yeah, it's mainly about how important this all women's test is for tomorrow.
And they get 3 hours, of course, across the test, which is going to be absolutely fun to see. Can't wait to see what we're going to experience. Was that Nick Golding you were just standing next to as well a second ago that I saw walk past? Was it Nick?
So no, that was Jack Smith from Motorsport Week. Nick Golding's
right.
the other side.
Right.
But yeah, so we have the Jaguars coming onto the grid now, just making sure that they're lining up. We've got the DS's that next, then we've got the Porsche Antonio Felix da Costa, then Jake Dennis and Nico Muller, the two Maseratis, and then we've got the world champion Pascal Wehrlein, and then we've got the two Envisions of Buemi ahead of Freins, and then the Mahindra of Nick de Vries. We got a Nissan before we got the other Mahindra Velo Mortara. That Nissan is. I'm waiting for the number to go past. That's Ollie Rowland. And then after Edo, you've got the two Lola cars. You've got the two McLaren cars. Actually, one of them's going all the way up. We've got Sam Bird overtaking one of the all the cars, one of the Lola cars as well. So yeah, they're about to line up on the grid. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch the camera around, and you can do your magic, Josh.
That's very kind of you, Jack. So they're on the grid then, and we're getting all set for the race simulation here. 24 laps ahead of us at the Jarama circuit. First time of any four-wheel racing they've had here. Go on, Jack.
Do you need me to move the camera?
No, we can see. It's fine. I can see the light procedure. I can see all the cars in the grid. That's a perfect angle.
Fantastic. Right. I'll leave you to it then.
So we will wait for the race simulation to begin. You can just see the red lights in the distance of the pit lane. So we'll wait to see. It looks like we are going to have, they'll set off, as Jack said, 2 by 2. It's a race simulation. Now, last time out in Valencia when they tried this, they actually started it behind the safety car. Doesn't look like that's going to be a position now. I can see blue lights flashing, so I would assume we are going to be into the start procedure shortly. You can see one of the Lolas just close to us. That's going to be Lucas de Grassi, who in the timing tower is second on the board. How silent is it down there then, actually, on the grid?
Well, I've got you in both ears, so I can't really tell.
Fair dues.
But yeah, no, it is very much it is very much like a normal start to a Formula E race. I've just got Sam Bird is the one that's closest to me. That's just a little bit out of shot. But yeah, no, this is very exciting because we're going to see them accelerate away, which is very exciting. And as we go further down and down the grid, I will move it more and more around, so hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more. But yeah,
the best thing is actually as soon as they hit the accelerator, they're not going to then back off like it's a practice start. They are going to go racing for the simulation, so it will be up to full speed. 0 to 60 in 1.82 seconds for these cars as well. It's absolutely fantastic. They've lined them up in the grid though for a long time. We've been here for a couple of minutes. Race control will be going through all of the final procedures. That's that building just there to your top right with race control, alongside the pit buildings. So we'll wait to see how far. Jack, have they actually got the 5 lights there, or are they using the track lights? Have they actually rigged everything up?
So no, they are using the track lights, which are just above the left set of pit lane lights.
Oh, I see them. Yes, I can see them. There's a little square box just ahead, yeah.
Yeah. Next to the words piss exit, you can just see that just about 10 o'clock to it. But this is why we've been waiting for a bit. There is one car that's only just coming to the grid. It's the Kiro, and if I just look for that, it's the Kiro of David Beckman. So the person who set the fastest time this morning is starting 22nd and last, and hopefully now that he signed up on the grid, hopefully we're about to get underway.
The good thing is that these Formula E cars can just sit idle for a long, long time. Remember back to Putrajaya in Malaysia, Season 2, when we had a stall on the grid. I think it was Da Costa back in those days as well. And we had to abort the start procedure. Only had 3 aborted starts in Formula E history, actually, as well, because we don't need to run them back into the grid boxes or do an extra formation lap. They only roll forward 4 places. It's unusual for them to have done so long a lap to come to the grid. So Beckman must have been told to give it the hurry up. I'm looking constantly at that square little box where the red lights are. There's nothing else changing.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going
nothing's happened so far. The anticipation, oh my God, you can, if they keep it any longer, the phrase you could cut it with, you could cut the tension with a knife through butter. The butter's going to be melted.
Time to create some pancakes at this rate as well. It's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the Lola, though, sporting the JBMotorsports colours of blue and yellow. That's quite nice. Mark Preston's birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday, Mark. Is he in the paddock?
He is in the paddock. I'll go say happy birthday to him later. I didn't realise it was. Thank you for telling me.
Pleasure. Green lights, and away we go. Yes, it's go. Unless they're moving forward 4 places to a grid spot.
Okay. So they're now moving forward the 4 places to the grid spot. Right. Okay. This is proper Formula E. Let's go. The Nissan here, Ollie Rowland's getting a bit ahead of himself because that DS needs to move. I think it's the DS anyway.
Yeah, can't see who's ahead of on the grid. So I think, Jack, they're going to go for a proper start procedure. Go on.
Maloney hasn't moved. Maloney has not moved.
Oh.
And so hopefully he'll be able to get that restarted. But the first thing making basically his first Formula E start doing this, even though it's not his actual first race. There must be something wrong with the car. He's moved forward in his grid box by not that much. I'll spin it round and hopefully I'll be able to show you that he's just ahead of his marks, but he hasn't moved forward, and so this might be aborted. I'm looking into the app garage from here.
Yeah,
Eric from the FIA is down there.
He's just sort of standing still, isn't he? He's not moved.
Everyone's out of position. The whole left-hand side of the grid's moved up, with the exception of David Beckman, who is still behind his teammate Dan Tickton. But Beckman's just moved up. He must have been on the radio just checking everything's okay. Zane has got his visor up, so hopefully he's just looking at the dash and trying to get this sorted.
You can see the marshal there just standing at pit lane over the wall. I think he's got a yellow flag in hand, although Zane hasn't put his arms up yet and given them a wave saying that the car's dead. So this is why testing and the race exercises are so important, because the last thing you want to do is to go into Sao Paulo and have these problems on the starting grid with all the fans watching around as well. Right now, it's just us and a few million of our mates watching it and keeping an eye on it. But has he moved forward a little bit more, or is he still in the same place? I thought I just saw a little jump.
He might have done. I'll be honest, I wasn't looking.
I wasn't either. Yeah, look, you can see they've all come around now, the FIA guys at that Marshall Point exit. So, yeah, I think they're on the radio are they going to try and sort of do a control or delete? Is that apt mechanics down there?
So you got someone from the FIA on the right with talkie. He's been on the walkie-talkie for a couple minutes. I'm not sure who. His hand's just covered. Oh, that is another person from the FIA. He's just moved his hand in the little grid window. And
The thing is, it's an old school circuit where I don't think they've got a pit lane get-off point to open up the pit lane to get them in. I can't see one down on that side of the grid.
no.
So, yeah.
No, if they were to do it, he'd have to go all the way to the back. But
oh, well, what a disaster this is to come through in the simulation race. It hasn't even
Yeah.
started. Right, we've been here for 13 minutes so far, and they're still lining up on the grid. So, Lola, of course, coming back into motorsport after a number of years. It's coming up nearly 30. The last time they tried to come in was in Formula One back in 1997 when we had the disastrous MasterCard Lola partnership. Lola wanted to wait until 1998 so everything was ready. MasterCard said, no, you're going to go in for 1997. So they had to hurriedly build up a 97 car that wasn't competitive, didn't work. And then they ended up not even turning a wheel in a Grand Prix. They were participating in practice at the Australian Grand Prix, but by the time we got to Brazil, it was all done and dusted. But Lola's rebranded. They've partnered up with Yamaha and Apt, and it looks to be a big success. However, right now, some sort of electrical glitch has stopped Zane Maloney before we even start the simulation race. He's still standing still. And no sign yet, Jack, of a start. Are they going to have to abort this whole procedure then and try again? Because he cannot move out of there. I think we might have lost Jack's signal there a bit as well.
Yes.
The
end of the got
oh, here we go. Oh, hello. Yes, we can see it now. So, race control have sent the course car out. So, is that the medical car?
that is the rescue car.
Oh, right.
So it says rescue car on the side, so that's what I'm going to call it. But hopefully Zane will be.
Oh, hello. They're pushing it into. Are they pushing it into the pit lane? Have they got an entry? They're just going to push it up the entire track.
I don't know.
I've never seen this before.
It's
oh,
not to.
they could push. Yeah, they want to. Yeah. Okay, signal's a bit laggy there for Jack at this time. Yes.
Tell me
Remember, he's in Barcelona, everybody.
about was I him in the box.
We can hear you now, Jack. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Sorry about that. They're going to push him down to the end of the pits, and then they'll put him in the box, and then hopefully, we're still waiting for Taylor, Nato, and Tictum to move forward the number of slots, but yeah, once they do, we should be underway. I think they will wait until Maloney's off the track and then give Taylor the nod to move forward.
By the looks of it, with them doing a burnout simulation as well, I would assume they'd do the grid start with a proper go. So this might be the first start of the year when we eventually get round to it. Right.
Here we go. Taylor Barnard's move. We're going to wait for Nato. And Nato is moving forward as well. And now once Tictum moves forward.
Fantastic.
Interestingly, Barnard's gone into the slot where Maloney would have been, and Nato and Tictum are following suit. So, yeah. Can you see the where the lights are going to be still?
We can still see where the lights are, yes. And we can still see them at the top right.
Yeah, okay, good.
All set then. We should get a green. Whether or not they'll all blast off at the same time, that is a different question here for the simulation race for Season 11 in pre-season. They're all ready. Everyone's turned on. Look, you can see with the pure red lights at the back. So it's all good. I say let's go. Green lights. We are underway for the race simulation here And we can get going now. Green flag, away we go. They'll move away two by two.
Oh no. Yeah, no, it's fine. It was just whoever was third on the grid took a little time to get away. 5, 6 go now. 7, 8 will go now. Back to you.
So this is the start of the race simulation. The cars will head down. They look like they've stopped on the circuit. Yeah, Jean-Eric Verne was third away. He had a bit of a problem moving. Robin Frein, Sebastian Buemi, they're moving away. Then we've got Nato, who's been pushed back into the pit lane. He's dropping down the timing screen. So this is the start then of the race simulation. They will move away like a practice start procedure, 2 at a time, and we are racing. So, Evans, Lees, Cassidy, Verne, Gunther, then it's DaCosta, Dennis, but already you can see...
Josh, I will lead you to it.
Cheers, Jack. See you later. So, there's the start procedure.
See you later.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Pico. So, we've got the start. We would have had a couple of laps there, but... thanks to Jack, he's stayed 20 minutes. He's got an interview with Jamie Chadwick coming as well. So, the race is underway then. 24 laps, and we'll now go into the full course yellow test procedure. Now, this test, effectively what it does is it neutralises the field. They've all got going off the grid. So now we will wait, we will hold back, test the full course yellow, which is at 50 kilometres per hour. And then we'll get a green flag once everybody's ready, and we'll get going. Zane Maloney has not started so far. He's been pushed back into his grid box after stalling on that parade start. So now David Bettman's got going, and all cars, as you can see, are now running out there on the circuit as well. I'm just going to refresh the driver tracker blog to make sure that that is actually working for you. And it's signalling the cars going round and round on the circuit, because it's not mine, to be honest with you. At the moment, I have not got that data coming to me from race control. So right now, all we've got is the timings. The positioning chart isn't working as of yet. And it has now started working. So there we are. So the full course yellow with the cars out there on the circuit. And weather conditions looking good as well. Oh, hello. That's a little bit new from race control in terms of track temperature and everything. That's quite a fancy new graphic. I'll get that sorted ready for the rest of the day then. So full course yellow as they come across the line. And this is how they lead at the end then of lap number 1. Evans, Leeds, Cassidy, Verne, Gunther, DaCosta, Dennis, Verline, Muller, Freins, Buemi, De Vries, Roland, Mortara, De Grassi, Barnard, Bird, Van Dorn, Nato, Tictum, Hughes, Beckman and Maloney are the running orders so far. So this full course yellow will last a lap, and then we should go into a safety car procedure to test out that as well. At least we got the start procedure good, and it's now back to green flag running. We are green again here at Jarama. So 7/10 the gap between Evans and Cassidy and the two Jaguars. Now, you remember this morning, Pico said that he was most worried about those Jaguars to see if or they are actually going to be that competitive with their powertrain. This is the perfect time, because let me tell you something. As you can see on your car tracker now, they are not, and I repeat, not going to be slowly out there. They are going to be full power at over the 200 kilowatts per hour, because now at 250 for race pace, 300 in attack mode. So this is going to be really fast, and Sector 1 also going well. De Grassi has already got past Behrman on the inside line as well. So already manoeuvres being made, which is kind of makes the most sense as well, as they fly through. 5/10 now between Evans and Cassidy. Down to turn 8 and 9, the heavy braking spot that we were at earlier on in the day, you might remember. So Evans still holding that lead. But look how the field have condensed already. Right at the back is David Bettman. Zane Maloney still in the pit lane. Now, it's not crucial he's missing this simulation race, but for him it's important in his first season, in his first start. He never even got to do that. So going into Sao Paulo for him is going to be very tricky indeed, and very dangerous. Over the line then to start lap 3. Through the chicane, of course, at 12 and 13. And over the line, Evans from Cassidy once again. And Verne's closed up within a second of the leaders now as well. So I told you, they started 5 seconds to gap, but they are going to push hard. Fastest lap to Jake Hughes in the Maserati MSG on a 1:35.618. Beckman had the first sector, but Hughes took sector 2. Sector 3 was pretty much irrelevant for everybody. Look how far Dan Tictum is behind as well. And David Bettman. So Tictum is just in front front of Jake Hughes, and David Beckman's right at the back. As you heard from Jack, he said that it took time for him to get into his grid position. So it's all sort of go now in order to figure out what is going to be next up on the board. So Evans leads us by half a second. Look at that. Beckman's closing up the gap now, 3 seconds to him and Hughes. Through attack mode. Anybody going for it just yet? No. We'll get a little signal when people do take attack mode up here in the comms box as well. So not too bad of a situation to keep an eye on. Evans as well and Cassidy looking stronger and stronger. I suppose the one instance that they've got to do in this situation is they've got to sort of just stay calm. It is only the simulation. The last thing you want to do is make a bigger mess and a bigger drama. Over the line then. And let's see the lap times for once again. Look at Cassidy. Now 2/10 behind Evans compared to Vern. And now that's brought to Costa inside a second as well. So no one's setting best lap. They are all setting best lap times. No one's setting the fastest, which was Hughes. Van Dorn passes Bird. Verline passes Gunther. So Verline's up to 5th. Gunther's down to 6th. And I'd move around as well, further back as well, but with Van Dorn and Bird in 16th and 17th position. Lap 4 of 24. 3 complete then. Cassidy's gaining on Evans. The gap now 0.3 of a second. It's crucial, actually. We are going to have, of course, pit stops in this 24-lap simulation race. The attack charge will be demonstrated here. So they'll come in, they'll recharge the batteries and get going again. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Freins has passed Muller. Barnard's passed de Grassi coming through. That must have been on the inside line down at turn 5. Nice inside downhill sweep. It's a nice little move to be done. So far, liking where this is going. Everyone's sort of got the right attitude in this one. And they just sort of don't want to be having the wrong ideas and the wrong problematics in these parts of the circuit. But as things stand, a very good start as well. Cassidy ahead, but for how much longer? Track info and data for you. Track temperature, 27 degrees. Air temperature, 19. Humidity, 63. Probability of rain is at 35%. It has been cloudy and overcast here in Jarama as well. As they come over the line again, look at that. De Costa's now within a side of a second. Verline's dropped back as well. Van Dorn's past de Grassi. De Grassi's past Bird. And there goes Muller passing De Vries. And Freins up into 8th position as well. Tictum's past NATO. And Hughes as well. So Tictum's up into 18th place. Got through there. But and now he's dropped back. So Hughes and NATO back on the inside line down to 1. Tictum now down into 20th place. So Tictum losing a lot of time there. I thought there might be a little bit of a change around. It turns out there wasn't. So Tictum down into 20th with Beckman in 21st. And I don't know how, but I know we've got to change. Cassidy's what's happened to Cassidy? Cassidy's dropped back into 4th. Evans leads. Vern 2nd. De Costa's 3rd. Cassidy's down to 4th. That was again at turn 5. Not where the attack mode is. That's at the top of the hill here at turn 7. So slightly concerned that that's the situation that we are dealing with at the moment. I'm sure we will get the information we need from race control when it happens. Evans leads from Vern, De Costa, Cassidy, still 0.9 of a second. I'm literally watching timing screens and deltas up here, giving you the information that we see. We got some racing and testing. Absolutely we have. No one's taken the attack mode just yet as they head back down. Driver 55 as well. That is going to be Jake Hughes. Lap time deleted at turn 4. De Costa's up to 2nd place and got through the chicane. So already changes of position at the front. So to me, they're all bunched up really high in the field. What's happened to the 51? We've got Mortara going down as well. Mortara and Muller. Yellow flag. Yellow flag. Mortara and Muller. Mortara and Muller. Have they hit the chicane barriers? I think they have. Mortara, and we've got Barnard down there as well. So Barnard's stuck. So was Muller. They've got going now, but they stopped at the chicane, and that brought Mortara down the field as well. So there's drama at the turn 12 and 13 chicane. We've gone back to green flag running, but that's put Muller out of it. And Taylor Barnard, in his first full season of FIA Formula E, also in trouble. So, and Vern's up to second position. He's passed Da Costa. So a great move there. And now, is anyone going to go for the attack mode at the top of the hill at turn 7? We usually see them by dropping down the timing screen if they do so. That's why we're not going to be too alarmed at that part of the circuit. We'll also get told if that becomes the case. They have not. So, Evans still leads with Vern second, Da Costa's third, Cassidy fourth, Gunther fifth, Verline is in sixth, Dennis seventh, Friends eighth, Boemi ninth, De Vries has the top 10. 4 drivers within a second of each other, and Mortara passes to Grassi back down into 13th place. That's downhill. Must have been an inside manoeuvre into turn number 10. So that's a downhill braking zone and a sort of double tricky left-hander. Over the line we come again then. Lap 7 will be on the board of 24. Through the 12-13 chicane. Over the line once more. 3 tenths between Evans and Vern. Da Costa's 7 tenths away at the moment as well. And there are gap improvements on those boards, as you can see. David Beckman, 134.488. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far. And Maloney still inside the pit lane. No change, unfortunately, for him. And Muller and Barnard cross the control line now as well. Back downhill into turn 1, the double right, which is sort of similar to what we see at Estoril in Portugal, the sort of tightness of the two. Then it comes uphill dramatically. You bottom out at turn 3, underneath then the Dunlop Bridge into 4. And then the run out of 5, 6 and 7 is a fantastic segment of circuit corners as well. We saw Jack Pickering have us out there as well. We'll hopefully have him before the end of the day to give us a wrap-up of his thoughts as well. And we'll hear from him tomorrow, of course, as we will combine all of the testing interviews he's done. And, of course, you don't forget to check out the Formula E Zone. The FE Bar will be on the Formula E Zone YouTube channel later on today. Evans and Vern are side by side. Evans tried to have to go down into turn 10. The timing screen's just turned around. A reminder, I've got no TV pictures. You saw the pictures earlier that I saw. Jack's had to go to interview Jamie Chadwick, so I'm watching the same as you. The timing tower and the driver tracker. So, little bits of manoeuvres changed, which is, well, entertaining to say the least. And Hughes has passed Bird. Friends passes Dennis. So Friends up to 7th. Hughes up to 15th. Dennis down to 8th. Bird down to 16th. Good stuff so far then as they come through the chicane once more. On to lap 8 of 24. Well, should have a tack charge around about lap 12 of this race. It looks like Zane Maloney in the Lola Yamaha Apt Formula E team. So in the Lola Apt, I don't know what we actually call that. Is it Lola Yamaha Apt? Yeah, Lola Yamaha Apt, I think. That's going to be a mouthful to say. But anyway, I think that's what we're going to call them. So have a go. And we've got Verline up to 5th, past Gunther. Boemi has passed Dennis as well. So they have traded places out there on the circuit as they'll rise up the hill once again. And controlling the slides down, that's going to be the biggest problem as well. Regenning these Formula E cars are a big problem because it's now double the battery, it's double the power. It's the Evo cars. Evans versus Vern again. Da Costa versus Cassidy. Gunther versus Verline. They've all tried to have a go on the top 6. Changing around as they come down into the braking zone. Just seeing on the timing time. Not sure if it ever shows up for you, but on the Alchemy systems we have up here in the commentary box, you're seeing the Formula E timing screens. We're seeing the Alchemy systems. And it was all swapping around as Barnard's passed Muller. Da Costa's back up into second place. He's passed Jean-Eric Vern in the DS Penske. So Porsche now come up into second position. And they now come to start a party as well. And Roland passes De Vries for 10th position. Franz passes Verline on the straight down towards turn number 1. No one yet. And car 21, as Franz and Verline still battling with 2 places together as well. Franz up to 6th, Verline down to 7th. They split the 2 divisions. Car 48 Mortara, lap time deleted for track limits. We also saw car 21, Nick De Vries, have the same issue. So you're seeing that flash up on the timing monitors as well. Well, a cracking. And Da Costa takes the lead. For the first time, we've got a lead change here in the race exercise of season 11. Antonio Felix Da Costa on the inside at turn 5 gets ahead of Mitch Evans. Now, is he going to take attack mode before he comes in for a attack charge? Nothing's flashing up yet on my monitors to say he's done so. So down through 8 into the hairpin of turn 9 and 10, it is Antonio Felix Da Costa leading the race simulation here in Spain. And look at the two Cairo race COs. They are Cairo? It's not what I was calling it. I think it's Kiros. But Tictum and Beckman, the 3 and the 33, closing up together. And now we've got Buemi, who's passed Verline because he's put the Envisions back up into Pacer as well. So Verline's down to 8th while his teammate leads this simulation. Over the line we come again then. And to start, lap 10. And Cassidy's dropped down to 4th position. Vernon Evans still up to 2nd and 3rd as well. So the timing screen's showing changes. Degrassi and Mortara trying to battle with places across the line as well. Downhill in towards turn number 1. Braking zone's nice and good. Car 3, that is going to be David Beckman. Lap time deleted. Lucas Degrassi in car 11. Lap time deleted for track limits at turn 13 on lap 9. We've got Muller on the back of Barnard. The gap between them. I've got the gap between the leader. You've got both. I need interval between them as well. 0.3 of a second. But Barnard, there's a 4-second gap between Barnard and Muller. And Vern leads. Down on the inside at turn 5. Vern gets ahead of Da Costa. And Cassidy passes Evans. And Hughes passes Mortara. Now, is this Vern going for attack mode now? Up to turn 7. Is he going to drop back on the timing screens? No. Timing Tower hasn't showed us either that he's on any form of attack. Downhill through 8 and 9. Desperately trying to keep it downhill and just keep it calm as all timing screens just delete the messages that they've had. Degrassi and Hughes battling together again. They've briefly swapped over on the timing screen. Degrassi stays in 13th. Hughes back in 14th. Good stuff by the Maserati MSG Racings, though, at the moment. They've been, they were the surprise. Remember, a couple of years ago, start of Gen 3, they were the surprise of testing, but at Valencia, now they're sort of in the midfield again. Everyone's status quo over the line. Mortara, Neighbour, Nato, Tictum, Beckman, they're all taking the time. Beckman's actually dropped back now. He's 2 seconds away from Dan Tictum. Coming up on halfway then in this simulation race here for ABB FIA Formula E's testing. Live coverage here on JBMotorsports. And if you're watching us on Grid Network and the Formula E Zone, hello to you all. And if you're watching this on the race upload that we're doing to all those channels as well, welcome to you. If you're watching our testing coverage, hello. So, and the personal best sectors, Gunther and Frines get ahead of Evans. Dennis gets ahead of Verline. De Vries passes Roland. Hughes passes Degrassi. Big moves at turn 5. Just by watching the timing screens here, I want a proper race. This is going to look fantastic. Now, everybody has started to do fastest first sectors. Now, they haven't been told to, and we're not seeing peloton style, but they are all in a race together, and it does look like we've got this peloton style of racing. So even better for what we're going to see in the next season. For some reason, Beckman has now fallen back as Barnard passes Beckman and Muller down on the inside line at turn 10. So what's happened to Beckman to drop so far back? Really bizarre. Still going. Still, and into the pit lane comes Jean-Eric Verne, into the pit lane comes Cassidy, into the pit lane comes Buemi and Dennis. This is for the attack charge. Here we go, folks. This is big. This is big. This is going to now show what we are going to have. Into the pit lane comes Hart the Field. Gunther leads from Da Costa, from Frines, Evans, De Vries, Hughes, Bird, Nato, Tictum, Muller. So 10 come in. 10's down the track, 12 come in. So Verne, Cassidy, Buemi, Dennis, Verline, Rowland, Van Dorn, De Grassi, Mortara, Barnard, Beckman. Maloney was already in there. Frines has passed Acosta at turn 5. This is going to be really interesting to see if anybody jumps in the attack charge. It should be a standard procedure. Attack charge, you recharge for 30 seconds, but you're held for longer. So everybody has the equal recharge time, and everybody doesn't really lose an advantage. It's not like the old days of Formula E where you would come in and change cars. And are they coming out in order? Vern's out there. Cassidy, Buemi, Dennis, Verline, Rowland, Van Dorn. They've all come out so far in the line. Mortara 2. Barnard and Beckman, yes. Looks like it. And you might notice as well, they're now showing us orange glowed on my timing monitor. Don't know if they are for you. Fastest lap now coming in as well for Beckman. 1:34.88. For some reason, that's shot up again. But they have now completed their recharge. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was the first ever recharge. And now we've got Gunther and De Vries coming in as well. Frines takes the lead from Da Costa and Evans. And then we've got Bird coming in as well. So this is your attack charge test, everybody, that we've been waiting for with the Gen 3 Evos. How's it going to do for the racing? We knew they were going to come in around about lap 12, 13 and 14. You get 3 laps to come in and do it. So yeah, here we go. And attack mode. Attack mode has been activated. You can see on your monitors. So Vern has taken 4 minutes. The same for Dennis. 6 minutes for Verline. 2 minutes for De Grassi. 6 minutes for Behrman and Barnard out there as well. So you can take a look as well. They've now taken the attack charge. We'll keep you up to date with it as we know. Well, fun, and even more fun. If this is going to be the case in this season, we'll open up that full graphic for you so you can see exactly what they've got to play with. 3 minutes and counting down. So keep your markers up, everybody. Attack mode now also been taken by Jake Dennis. He's got 3 minutes. So Jean-Eric Verne coming in as well. Attack mode now activated as well for De Grassi. I don't know why it keeps flashing up for us like that, but so many have taken it. And everybody who took the pit lane have come out as well. Gunther, De Vries, Bird and Muller. They've come out in a normal runaround. Timing screen doesn't know what to make of it right now. Da Costa has got ahead of Robin Frines. So we need to look at the two front of the pit. So Da Costa leads, and he's the only one who stayed out. So Frines, Evans, Hughes, NATO pit. So what it does do is confuse up your timing tower because you've got 2 different races to watch. So the cars coming down the start line now, they can. But look at everyone going through attack mode now. De Grassi's running out of attack mode. Who's just taken it? 4 minutes for Gunther has taken, coming in as well. 4 minutes for Rowland. 2 minutes, hang on a minute, we've got 3 minutes for Van Dorn. He's already taken it before. They're all flashing up on attack mode at different times. The attack mode signals aren't working. 4 minutes for Muller. De Grassi's going to run out of attack mode. And you can see why, because drivers have already had attack mode. They're flashing up on the system. So De Grassi has now lost his attack mode. And Da Costa leads. Dan Ticktum second. There's 8 seconds between them two. They have yet to come in. But when they do, it's going to be interesting to see if Da Costa still comes out in the lead. Because look at the gap he's got. He's got 2 sectors on the rest of the field. Absolutely insane. Looks like the attack mode is being activated at the attack mode line and the finish line. So that's why it keeps flashing up for us and confusing us all up here in the commentary box as to what is actually happening and what's going on. Look, attack mode and fastest lap now. Fastest lap has gone to Jake Dennis, 1:33.104. Does Da Costa now come into the pit lane? I think he's... Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So Da Costa boxes. Is Dan Ticktum going to do the same? It's the last lap you can. And is he going to come in? Yes, he does. So now, where will they filter out to the rest of the field? Because everybody else has done their laps. As attack mode wrangles on back there as well. Is Da Grassi going to take it this lap because he's lost out of it? Let's have a look. Yes, he does. Da Grassi takes 6 minutes of his attack mode. So everybody's now using them all in this segment of the race. We'll have a safety car as well to test that out. After all this has been done, the safety car will come out. They'll bunch the field up and see how it all goes. Van Dorn runs out of attack mode. 20 seconds left for Vern. And now Dennis, as that ticks down. So the leaders are coming into turns 12 and 13 now. But we've got DaCosta and Ticktum still in the pit lane. Roland passes Cassidy. So it looks like there is no advantage to staying out there and leading laps as Vern leads. And DaCosta's coming out of the pit lane now. DaCosta's coming out of the pit lane now. This is crucial. Where's he going to filter in? Computer says 6th. And that's around about where he was running. So that's crucial data to know in the race simulation that if you do stay out to the very end, mathematically you might come back in 6th position. But 8 seconds behind, remember, was Dan Ticktum. And he's come out 18th, exactly where he was, with Barnard and Muller before all that started. So it's a great one for Jake Dennis. He's shot up the field. So has Maximilian Gunther. Verline's lost out a bit. Roland's doing well. Cassidy's dropped loads of places. As we see Friends and De Vries battling out. Dan Ticktum's now dropped to 20th place. So Barnard and Muller have jumped him. So what we learn is that the attack charge seems to work. Attack mode definitely does. But the attack charge does have a technical gain where if you time it right and you're positioning in the pit lane, you can jump a couple of cars. But when me and De Vries on the inside get ahead of Cassidy down at turn 10. Cassidy's down to 9th. Buemi and De Vries 7th and 8th. Then we got Bird 13th. Evans now 14th place. So that Jaguar has dropped back massively. I was expecting something different. Dennis has now dropped back to 4th. Gunther 2nd. Verline 3rd. It's a DS Penske 1-2. De Vries up to 7th. Buemi down to 8th. Hughes passes Van Dorn. The two Maserati teammates swapping places as well. Zay Maloney has got no race data at all. I wonder what's happening with that Lola. We'll definitely send people down to have a closer look at it and get us as much information as possible. I'd certainly be interested to know exactly why and what's happening out there on the monitors as well. So far, though, good stuff. Good, clean, hard, fair racing. And it's only a simulation. Lap 16 of 24. Verline up to 2nd. He's past Gunther. DaCosta's past Dennis. Cassidy's past Buemi. Evans passes Van Dorn, all at turn 5. Can we race here at Harama, please? Watching the timing screen is giving us a fantastic race exercise. I'd love to race here. Should be broadcast, actually, as well. Imagine the ratings I'd get for a test race. Coming through. And attack mode still coming in. DaCosta's about to run out of it. Everybody else just finishing off with theirs. It's a 1:32.603 for David Beckman. He's in 16th place now. So DaCosta has run out of attack. He's got one more left. So's De Vries, Cassidy, Buemi, Bird, Evans, Mortara, Ticktum and Nato. They've all got another one to serve. Out is Lucas de Grassi in the rest of the field. And attack mode now being taken. Well, De Vries, he crossed the line, so that's why. Verline leads! The champion leads! Pascal Verline gets ahead of Jean-Eric Verne. Down into turn 1. Oh, and an instant with Dan Ticktum. Speeding in the pit lane's been noted. Cassidy passes Dennis. Bird passes Hughes. De Grassi passes Van Dorn. Mortara passes Beckman. So the timing's all changing down to turn 1. So, instant with car 33, Ticktum has been noted. Speeding in the pit lane. Now, if this was a real race, he'd been given a drive-through penalty or a time penalty added to his race. DaCosta up into 3rd, passes Gunther. Evans passes Hughes. Very nicely done. Evans now 12th, Hughes in 13th position. Still keeping it nice and calm. Cool, calm, and collected is exactly what they need to be right now. Downhill into turn 9. Of course, the cars have got to recharge after this, so it's like, but they're going to start the session up, so it's going to be a bit weird. And big, Bird's gone wide. Bird's had to have gone wide. Cassidy passes Roland and De Vries. Friends now down to 9th, but Buemi, Evans, De Grassi, Hughes all get through on Bird. Bird must have gone wide at turn 9. Has to have. To take that far off the circuit No ifs, no buts, no candy and nuts. There, he went off the circuit there. Cassidy and Rowland get ahead of Gunther. Dennis gets ahead of De Vries. Evans and Buemi. Van Dorn ahead of Bird, and Cassie's back up into third place into Costa. Da Costa's down to fifth. Rowland's still on the inside line at turn 1, and Dennis gets ahead of Gunther. 18 to 24. Muller and Barnard swap places as well. No sign of that safety car. Remember, it's a race simulation. Safety cars do have to come out in order to test the entire procedure. Arguably, they could say that we've already done that because they left the pit lane behind the safety car, so they might just leave this going. Rowland second. Vernon Cassidy down. Dennis up to fifth ahead of Da Costa. So, lap time deleted for car 3. So that is David Beckman. Track limits at turn 0 on lap 17. So that's even before he gets over the line. 6 minutes for Jake Hughes on the board. So he's taken another one. 4 minutes for Gunther and De Vries. And attack mode now for Ollie Rowland, who's taken the lead of the race. Did Verline go for it and miss it? Has Verline missed it? Rowland's now up into P2. I think Verline's safety car, there we go. So I think Verline's missed it. I think Verline went for attack mode and missed it. So the safety car comes out. The race will now be neutralised behind the pace car. And we will go from there as to what needs to happen after this procedure. So, what lap are we on? 16:24. Why that timing graphic is frozen, I don't know. It's lap 19 of 24, so let's refresh that graphic and get it working. So the safety car has been deployed. We will now back up behind it for a few laps, and we shall go from there with what we need to do. So that timing tower board, yeah, it froze ages ago for some reason. Oh, hang on, the whole system's froze. Well, this is new. The entire timing screen has just blown up on us up here in the comms box. So we'll go to number 2 while it works out. Even the blog has gone off. Oh, dear. Well, at least the driver tracker's working, so we can still see that. So, safety car is out then. Rowland leads, Verline, Dennis, Vern. Cassidy's in there too, so they're all starting to make their places back up in the field. And the race exercise buttons are coming back on. The systems are loading in. And they're back now. So that didn't take too long, which was a blessing. So, safety car. So, Rowland's going to run out of attack mode. But, yeah, so is everybody else. So, yeah. Going to be a little bit difficult to keep an eye on everything. Now, just, take care. Take it with care. Take it with ease. And just see what's going to happen next with this pace car out there. Definitely. I think the whole gain of things needs to be a bit more trust in the system. Because they've got to realise that they're not doing this on their own. So, pace car's out. Whole field bunched up. Still don't know why we had a lap time deleted for David Beckman. That came as a bit of a surprise. How's that timing? No, timing tower's working okay, I believe. It's just having a bit of a paddy, as you'd think it would. I think it's got too many systems trying to work at the same time. There's too many browser tabs. We'll have to adjust that going forward. There are quite a lot, actually. Looking at it, you don't even know how many there are. There is a lot. I don't even know what that one is. Oh, it's that one. Yeah, I think that's the same one. But, yeah, just holding up now behind the pace car. 28 seconds to go then. 26. Safety car is in this lap. So we'll have an added... I don't think we'll have an added lap. We'll see if it goes to 25. They'll want to test this procedure, of course. Into the last sector then. Safety car coming in Ollie Rowland will lead us as we go green again for the simulation in Spain. Rowland leads from Verline, Dennis, and has he gone yet over the line? They're all still backed up. Verline's going to jump Rowland. Verline's gone ahead of Rowland before they cross the finish line. And Rowland's coming to the pits. So Rowland was leading this simulation and he's now come into the pit lane. Very unusual. So Verline now leads, Dennis second. Does the Nissan have a problem? Don't know why. NATO's in there too. Both Nissans are in. I wonder if they've withdrawn from the test. That's going to really annoy them because even though this is only a simulation, you want to race. You want to do it. You really do. So, yeah, I'm slightly surprised that that has become the bog standard as at the moment. But hey-ho, we'll move. Verline. Now, half a second clear to Jake Dennis. No added laps at the moment. It does look like Norman Nato and Ollie Rowland are out of this race. So is Zane Maloney. So Verline still now leading it. He's taken 2 minutes of attack mode. Dennis hasn't. He's still second. Vern's taken 4 minutes. Dennis takes the lead. Dennis does take the lead. There we go. I thought, how did Verline get ahead with half a tenth advantage and didn't move? By the time we get to the next sector and it makes itself clear, we get the information. So, it's now Dennis with the simulation race lead. Verline from Vern, Cassidy, De Vries, Da Costa as well. And then we get, where we have to do, Da Costa, De Vries now, as they've swapped over. Hughes passes to Grassi. Into the pit lane has come Sam Bird and Taylor Barnard. McLaren have withdrawn. Verline leads ahead of Dennis down to turn 1. So McLaren have now withdrawn from this race simulation. They've backed out of it. They've done all their program they need to. They'll come in and they'll recharge and get going again. But I don't know, it's crucial to have this time. I don't know why. Maloney would kill for these lap times. And Vern's dropped down to 5th. Up to 3rd and 4th, Cassidy and Da Costa. So Jaguar and Porsche get ahead of the DS Penske. Verline now ahead of Dennis by a second. Well, that's very reminiscent to last year, isn't it? When we were in the commentary box talking about all this. 4 minutes of attack mode taken for Mitch Evans. 2 minutes taken for Robin Frines. Tictum's running out of time, so is Verline. 2 minutes around this circuit correlates to 1.5 lap times. De Grassi passes Mortara and Frines into 11th place. Tictum passes Muller, 15th and 16th. So they've traded places once more. Gunther now effectively in last place for DS Penske. Bird, Barnard, Roland Nato, Maloney, they've all withdrawn. Maloney didn't even start this simulation race. Bird, Barnard, Roland did. Cassidy's up to second, passing Jake Dennis. So Jaguar looking strong in the simulation race. Can they hold it together when we get to Sao Paulo in exactly a month's time? Through a lap, and Lucas de Grassi has had a lap time deleted for track limits at turn 13. That's the chicane. I wonder if he straight-lined it. Still. Lap 22 of 24. 3 laps to go. And Da Costa gets ahead of Jake Dennis. Up into 3rd place now. Good Sector 1 and actually pair of Sector 1s from Mitch Evans and Sebastian Buemi. Mortara passes to Grassi. Tictum passes Beckman. That's all at turn 5. So this is good data. Good simulation data. And that is... Look at car 7. That's Maximilian Gunther right at the back of the field as they sweep in. Thought it might be a little bit different. Turns out it's not. 1:31.743. Pascal Verline. Fastest up of the race. Time is updated. Cassidy passes to Costa. So that needed to happen quickly. Down now again to turns 12 and 13. So there's attack mode still left for Cassidy and Da Costa. Da Costa now have 2 minutes left, which is the next 2 laps. So watch out to see if DaCosta's going to go for it, because Verline and Cassidy are now very, very vulnerable. Evans on attack mode, 2 minutes to go. Cassidy is out, so is Verne. And there into the pit lane has come Jean-Eric Verne. So Jean-Eric Verne for DS Penske, he withdraws from the simulation race. That's a shame, actually. So let's put Verline, Cassidy, and DaCosta all back in the mix. So that's 16 left in this simulation. Through 5 they go. DaCosta back ahead of Cassidy. Cassidy now down to 30. He's dropped back 4 tenths already. But the top 3 have broken away to Jake Dennis, who's in 4th place. So this, on the last lap, will be a little bit of a showdown to who wants to get the simulation victory. And believe me, the drivers do go on about it. There's a little bit of bragging rights, because all of a sudden you forget you're simulating and you really do go racing. It's like a go-kart day out with your mates. That's how you see the simulation tests. Car 7, that's Maximilian Gunther. Lap time deleted, but he's in 16th, and I'm expecting him to come into the pit lane shortly as well. And all my data's gone. Wow, all my data's gone. At the last lap, all my data has blown from the system. It says service offline. So the system has gone right at the last second. So who's going to win the simulation race? That's a bit bad. That's extremely bad. What on earth has gone on there? Yeah, the live timing has gone. I have never seen that in all of my life. Why did we lose that? Why have we lost the blog and why have we lost the simulation? Well, that's a rubbish end to the simulation race as they come across the line. Well, unless they've had a problem, red flag. I think they've had an internet problem. They keep having problems at this circuit. We had a red flag on day 1, if you remember, for this issue. But that's the first... it's come back now. Here we go. Last lap. It's back. So we've got Verline's leading DaCosta. Thank God for that. There we go. Yes, come on. Excellent. So, service back online after a little bit of a bump. We've still got the order that we have. So Verline leads DaCosta and Cassidy. Mortara and Hughes. Hughes up to 10th. Mortara down to 9th. Out of the last 2 corners. The gap 2 tenths. So backed off now has Cassidy. Porsche are going to dominate the race simulation. Into the last corner. Who else but Pascal Verline? Picking up where he left off. Pascal Verline wins the simulation in Spain. DaCosta 2nd. Cassidy's 3rd. Dennis 4th. Evans is 5th, De Vries 6th, 7th for Van Dorn. Buemi boxed, but will be classified in 8th. Mortara's 9th. Hughes will pick up effectively the last fake point in 10th. Frein's 11th, Ticktum's 12th, Beckman's 13th, Muller is 14th, Gunther 15th. De Grassi will come across the line eventually in 16th, unless he'll box. Pit entry just out to turn 13, so let's see if he boxes. He does indeed. So De Grassi, Verne, Bird, Barnard, Rowland, Nato and Maloney. So, Pascal Verline, the champion of the previous season, brilliantly wins the race exercise and the simulation here in Spain for season 11 of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. Not a bad race. Yeah, they hide the last lap, says Living for Speed. It just came back in time, didn't it, by the time they got out of the last sector. I was like, what? No! We've been here the whole time. We deserve to see it. And we did. Gunther had his lap time delete on lap 22 for track limits. So that's just come through on the stewards as well. Internet's been having a problem at Harami. You might notice that Jack Pickering's been having internet issues as well. But the Formula E timing data does go off quite a lot. So it's nothing new there. So, all cars to the pit lane. It is a race simulation after all. The clocks will reset, and you can see now a red flag has come out on the circuit to stop the session. You can see that in the race control message it says red flag. That's because the race is over, and they'll all come in now. It'll regroup itself, and we'll go again. So, we've still got some testing to do, but your final classification here for the race exercise, Pascal Wehrlein with the fastest up as well, 1:31.743. He wins from his teammate De Costa in second. Cassidy's third, Dennis fourth, Evans fifth, De Vries, Van Dorn, Mortara, Hughes and Freins rounds out your top 10. Tickton, Beckman, Muller, Gunther, and then technically now not classified is Boemi, Degrassi, Vern, Bird, Barnard, Rowland, Nato and Maloney. Technically, Boemi should have finished 8th in that one, let's just say, but he came into the pit lane, so kind of lost out on time on that one as well. This next bit, by the way, is just for the highlight reel to make it easier. So that wraps up the race exercise here at Jarama. It's Porsche who looked the strongest. We can never really tell with simulation races, but at least we've got information on the attack charge as well. Let's see what happens when we go racing in Brazil. So that was just to clarify everything that's going on in terms of splitting up the race stream from the start stream for the action here on the set. That blog still isn't working, is it? It's been dodgy all day. But there we go. Our first race of the new season and with the new Gen 3 Evo cars. And it was really nice to see how it all works out in terms of data. And I say that because it's nice to see that the attack charge does actually have some strategy behind it. I.e. Jake Dennis, Da Costa. Time it right, you can get back up the field. I'd love to see it in what we're now understanding it's going to be the double headers only. So we won't see it in Sao Paulo or Mexico, but Monaco will see it. The entire second half of the season will see it. So it's only in double header races, not single file races, which will add a bit of spice to it, I suppose, ahead of a full development in season 12. It worked. Added a pit stop, stopped the peloton, but they were still all bunched up nicely together. And it sort of gave us double the amount of racing, and everyone was setting fast lap times as they went. So I hope they've got good information on that front as well. So the red flag's out. We've ended the race simulation. So let's go back then. And here, I don't know if we have had it or not already today. I think we have, haven't we? Have we had Mazzano race 2? Have we already played that today? I can't remember if we have or not. Has somebody remind me if we've heard that today and I've just got it massively wrong. 53 minutes to go in the session. Okay. Is today ending earlier? That's unusually timed as well as the green lights go on. Underway again. As we will now sort of have to adjust to see what's going to happen next, because we have no idea what the next information from the stewards is going to be in terms of all of this. So on our there we go, 1 hour 53 minutes. I thought we had 2 hours left on that monitor. Now I can't remember if we played Mazzano 2 this morning. I think we did, didn't we? So is there another one somewhere that I've missed? Mazzano today, yeah. Beffy Bar Mazzano race 2. Oh, okay. I must have forgotten to add in another race, even though I thought we had one. I'm more confused about that myself, to be fair, about what the whole data's going to be. But everyone's still in the pit lane. They have to recharge their cars, first of all. So it will take a while, and in that time as well, I'm going to get our lovely data back and our lovely systems, because we need them to return to action, as we'll get that up shortly. God, it's being a pain today, isn't it? It really is. There we go. Getting our systems back up and running. There we go. So, They had the last lap. What did everyone think? Let's have a look. I'd love to know what everybody thought of that coming into it. Did we play Misano Race 2 today? We played Tokyo yesterday. Did we play Misano Race 1 this morning, then Misano? No, we don't have time, would we? So, yes, I've forgotten to get the next race up then, which is Monaco. Well, everybody forgets to do something every now and then, don't they? I suppose that's only fair to come into it. 151.43. Another lap time deleted then from the stewards. So it's all coming up now, isn't it? It's all coming up rosily tea, as they'd all say. Yeah, we've done Misano Race 2, so it's now Monaco, which is Jess Ball and Ed Hunter and me down in the pit lane, because I wasn't in Monaco last year. So it's only a 1 hour 21. Let's get that sorted. I'm just literally getting it all set up and ready. So yeah, I'm just going to play it over as a normal audio for you back at home as well. Because I've been a bit of a fool and forgot to do it. So let's have a look then. So no word on the blog or data or information or anything coming through. I thought there might be at some point in time. But no, they haven't really moved it all. They've all kept it positioning. I'm having a look at Twitter now to see if there's anything that we can load in from them and have a word with. So we'll get ready to be progressive to go forward with it. This download's taking a long time, by the way. 9 minutes, it says. So I want some interviews. That was it. I remember what we're going to do. I'm not just a pretty face, I remember as well. Now, what's this new... Oh, hang on a minute. Hey, timings are back. Live blog. Fantastic. So, here we go. So, Beckman on top as well. Finally, we get a nice, decent run. That was this morning's session time, though. Nothing was said about the simulation race earlier on today. Thought they might have. Desperately now trying to see if Formula E are going to give us anything, but for some reason Twitter's frozen. I wonder why that is. Elon Musk. There we go, FIA Formula E. While we keep up to date with everything. So the drivers right now, you know the track is green, they won't be going out there on the circuit just yet. Literally no point for them to do that right now, because they've all got to get sorted. Yeah, checker flag done. Verline took the checker flag at the end of the exercise. Saw that coming. Is there any information from anything? Gunther made up his mind. No, nothing. Seriously, they are lacking Formula E. They've got a test going on and you'd barely know about it. You really would. Shocking. We've done more. Really is bizarre. So we've got some clips coming through. Fantastic. Okay, let's check in then as well with Alexis Rendell. And she's going to tell us all the latest news that she's had out there on the circuit as well. I'm just trying to get it all sorted to come into it actually while we're in full screen. It's not the easiest to get done. Wow, it really isn't. What's going on with it? Very bizarre. So turn that off, turn that off. There we go. Okay, let's hear the latest then from the circuit and so far what Formula E have been pointing out via Alexis.
Hello and welcome to Madrid. The Gen 3 Evo machinery and our field of world-class racing drivers hit the track here at the Jarama circuit for the very first time today, ahead of season 11 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. And here is what you need to know. The teams were getting the laps in, they were gathering that all-important data and also getting used to that four-wheel drive and those stickier Hankook Ion tyres. And the man who topped the timesheets, well, it wasn't our reigning world champion Pascal Wehrlein sporting the number one. It was in fact his teammate Antonio Felix da Costa who set a 1:29.2. We also had some new looks to look out for on track. The newly branded Lola Yamaha Apt and of course Kiro Raceco took to the circuit with a particularly striking livery. Worth mentioning Zane Maloney, Formula 2 race winner, and of course former Andretti reserve driver, getting his first laps in, getting that experience and making sure he's ready for his rookie season season. Also worth mentioning, Jaguar and Nissan did not take to the track today as a result of their penalties from breaching the cost cap last season. So they will hit the track for the very first time tomorrow morning when we begin our session at 9 AM local time before a second session at 2 PM. Both 3 hours, and you can follow along with all of the updates on our live blog and our live timing on the Formula E website.
So that was Alexa from a few days ago on giving us a wrap-up of what happened, in case you missed it. Well, we'll just wait for everything else to load in. I think we're in a social media time now, aren't we? We haven't had one for a while. Let's check in now with her. Let's check in actually what she had to say, because she's talking with one of the Envision drivers. Can't tell who it is yet because it hasn't loaded, just as Envision. I think it's with Robin Frines as well. So I'll get a quick little sneak peek of what she had to say. If it loads, they take a while, and I've just realised I'm leaning over a laptop and I've got a mouse here that I can talk to quite easily. That makes life a million times more easier. Quick 30-second interview then with Robin Frines.
That weekend probably saved my career.
Well, tell me about your current engineer.
He's been at the team the last 2 years, I think. We ran JBM last year. But I worked with him in the past in high tech in 2018 in Formula 3. So he ran me in Macau, so I got my best finish ever in Macau with him. I always joke with him now that actually that weekend probably saved my career. And actually I can probably trace back my Formula E career to that race I did with him in Macau. So I owe a lot to him in that respect, and yeah, he doesn't let me forget it either.
Well, how much do you credit him for your success in that race?
He's watching this, so I credit him nothing. If he's not watching this, I'd just say to everybody else, then I credit him a lot.
Why is it like there was no context there? It's just about his race engineer he's talking about. What was the tweet? The story of how Jake Hughes' race engineer saved his career. And £10,000 for language. The FIA don't like you swearing in interviews. Right, let's check out what Alexa had to say after day 2 of all of the running from pre-season testing. She was once again down strolling in the pit lane. Well, that is day 2 of Formula E pre-season testing done here in Madrid. And these teams are really starting to get to grips with that brand new Gen 3 Evo machinery. Let's throw it back to this morning's session, because it was Jake Hughes with the brand new team partnership for him of Maserati MSG Racing. Teammate Stoffel van Dorn was 5th, but Jake topped the timesheets. Very, very impressive from him in only his 2nd day on an official test with the team. Then this afternoon, let's have a little think about that, because it was actually DS Penske who kind of got sandwiched around with Kiro Raceco. DS Penske 1st and 3rd, Kiro Raceco 2nd and 4th. Dan Ticktum chomping at Maximilian Gunther's heels, but Max Gunther topped the timesheets with a 1:28.4. Well, what else do you need to know about today? Jake Dennis has gone blonde. Dan Ticktum had a beard yesterday and has shaved it off. And someone in the paddock has made a tattoo bet, but it's far too early for me to give that away as to who it is. Make sure you're following along with the action again tomorrow, starting at 9 AM local time. Yeah, we're all getting up extremely early for it as well, and we've got another one tomorrow. I think getting up at 7:30 and coming down to the commentary box is not the best. But I have to be on camera, so it's fine. Throw on yesterday's clothes, get out, go down, and then in between the sessions, get ready for the day. That's how I'm rocking it so far. So, I'm going to look and see if there's anything on their YouTube at the moment, or any good video. But, yeah, only full races and explainers and... Oh, interviews, hello. Pre-season... Oh, hello, the driver speaker had a testing. Can we show all of that? I'm not entirely sure. We'll keep that as a secondary thing, because we're going to have a look at... some more interviews while we wait, because it's an hour 21, so we've got 20 minutes to kill, ideally. And we've got a couple of minutes. Yeah, a couple of minutes to come into it, actually, and get it all sorted. I'm looking for Formula E Zone now. Sorry, everyone. This is what happens when we're live after the race and as well. Ed Hunter, by the way, has actually told me to remind them to turn on the microphones. That's another thing. 2 interviews for you then. First up, Eduardo Mortara talking with Jack Pickering down there trackside. You might have heard this earlier on in the day, but now you get to see the video as well. The whole thing gets to pop on your screen now. So enjoy from Eduardo Mortara.
How are you finding testing so far?
Difficult. I must say that this Yarama racing track is pretty challenging. It's a lot of high-speed corners where yeah, it's actually pretty demanding for us drivers. On top of that, we have to discover a lot of things. This new Gen 3 Evo car, we have a new powertrain, so there's plenty to do, and yeah, so we are gathering as much data as we can, and hopefully we are going to be able to have the best choices, or the right choices, let's say, for the season.
What is it like coming to a circuit where we weren't supposed to be here? So you've had to rock up, do the track walk, and then just go out and just go. And the circuit isn't Formula E realistic. So how much can you really learn from this week?
Yeah, as you said, like it's not really Formula E. Yeah, so we have like usually like some other racing tracks. So we're used to maybe other racing tracks, but it's good to be coming in this I would say old-fashioned like racing tracks where you need a lot of courage, you need to commit. Will it be helpful for us in order to understand what works, what's not working? I've got no idea. Hopefully.
And obviously last year you sort of built over the season went on, and you peaked in obviously you had the pole in Berlin, but the double points finish in London was huge for the team. But there seems to be like pardon the pun, but a different sort of energy coming out of the team this year, that there is something that you could potentially be fighting consistently for points, and potentially the odd podium as well this year. Can you feel the difference from last year's car to this year's car?
Definitely, there's been a lot of work done by the engineers. Yeah, this year, hopefully this will be enough, let's say, for us to be competitive. We've improved so much in terms of hardware, in terms of software. As you rightly said, in the second part of last year's season, we were already more competitive. We were starting to show a little bit more pace. We were able to grab some good points, effectively in Portland, also in London. It's always good actually to finish well. So hopefully it's going to be good for next year.
All right, cheers, Adam.
You can catch up on all of it via the Formula E Zone as well. We've had, as I said, Jack Pico as well, and Jack Giamano and Ed Hunter. They're all part of the broadcast team here as well. Let's catch up then with Frederic Bertrand as well ahead of day 2 down at Mahindra, and see what he had to say going into the days of testing and what he's made of it so far. Because Mahindra having a very interesting time of it on the board. Here we go.
I just wanted to talk about this week, because obviously we weren't supposed to be here. How is it sort of adapting to this sort of scenario where we've come here, no expectations, the guys haven't done any testing? How is it different to what Valencia would have been?
I think, first of all, what happened there is so terrible that there was no chance and no question for us that we could race or test in such a place where they have so much drama to survive and to live with. So the move was definitely a good idea. Find an option which was, in terms of logistics, easy to do for everyone. Was not so easy probably for Formula E, but they did a very good job identifying this track, which honestly suits quite well to the car. And what has been really well managed is the transition from a place which has not been used to any Formula E activity up to now into a place where we feel that it's working 100% as usual. So yeah, it's a very great move and great management of the move. And for us, it's important still to test this week because it's important for us to have a maximum of understanding of the new cars, all the new things which are coming into the championship, including fast charging probably, before we have to send all the package to Sao Paulo. So very good move, well managed, and finally a very good result on when we look at the way the things are going here. It seems to be a smooth test up to now, and we are all happy that it goes this way.
Are you having to be a little bit cautious though, in terms of like you don't want to get ahead of yourself too early? Because we know what happened in season 9. Well, obviously we got to Mexico. You got the pole and got the pole and the podium with Lucas, and then it sort of didn't continue that way for the rest of the season. So is it something that you have to go like, look, this is great, but let's just keep ourselves grounded for the moment, and let's just keep to our targets?
Oh la la, it's more than grounded that we have to say for the moment what we are doing here is a test. So be world champion of a test doesn't make any sense. Definitely, I think what was important is in our construction phase, we needed those tests to make sure that we have enough time to race with the others, understand a bit more what we are doing compared to the others. But at the end, we do the test for ourselves. We don't look so much at what the others are doing. For sure, it's always interesting, but that's not the main thing. Everybody has his own program.
Oh, they're frozen. Give it a minute on the Wi-Fi, and then it should come back to us.
Everybody has his own strategy behind the test. So to take any
Yeah, Wi-Fi is really
conclusion out of it would be totally stupid and make no sense. The goal is to use this week to be ready for Sao Paulo, and in Sao Paulo we can start to count, because definitely it will be the start. How we start there, the best we can for sure, but this time for sure, if you compare it to season 9, as you said, we want to keep consistently improving and not going down. So the car,
I think we've just got to give up on it because it looks like it's gone completely dead.
how we have developed is definitely a much better car. We have a level of confidence which is much higher. The team is structured in a much better way, so we have all the reason to be ambitious and hopeful. But
Don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi.
there is 10 other teams thinking exactly the same, and from what we see here, the fight will be a tough fight for the full season.
All right, cheers, Fred.
Yeah, that took a while on the Wi-Fi, didn't it? No cars have ventured back out onto the circuit, by the way, after said delay to the day after the, well, you know what, the race simulation. So they're all just recharging, keeping calm, and pit lane has opened. It opened about 15 minutes ago, so now we're just sort of waiting around to see what's going to happen next. I suppose we could hear from what the drivers had to say as well to come through. So what we are going to do now is just line up with Jess and everything and hear what they're going to have to say coming into it. We've got Monaco as our next broadcast and our next race. However, I am going to load up this driver speaking at testing, because I think that could be quite fun to keep cutting in and out of and hearing what they have to say on the entire matter. Because I haven't actually come through anything else so far, so I think that'll be a nice sort of 13 minutes to come in and listen to a press conference. Actually, I think we can, because we've already had this up before to come into it. So give me a minute and we'll hear what the FIA Formula E drivers had to say in their press conference as well with the drivers. And because no one's out there on the circuit, I think that might be quite good use of time to come into it. So yeah, we're just trying to find out when the race starts for the Monaco race to get that to you. But I'll tell you one thing, trying to do it all, it's quite difficult. Is that my laptop has just decided, oh, you want to do something, do you? Oh, well, I'm sorry, you didn't tell me, so unfortunately I'm not actually going to do it now. And you're going to have to sit in pain because you're trying to do, oh, hang on, banks of power. Why is PowerPoint open? See, it's opening things. I don't even know why it's open. I'm still in the Discord call. And suddenly it all makes sense as to why my laptop's having a paddy. We're still in the Discord call. There we go. So now, there we go. It all makes sense as to why my laptop was having such a paddy over the last 20 minutes of this broadcast. So, car's still in the pit lane. And no one's moved around. Well, I'm desperately now trying to get it to reboot. Because the dock has moved onto the middle screen, so which means you're going to see it, which isn't needed. And if I can get that, we can do that, then we can go to the race and get it all sorted. So I'm very much looking forward to this, to seeing what could happen. Of got Jesse Mayer now going through the grid and the start procedure as well. There we go. So you've got an hour and 7 minutes of Monaco action. And how long have I got left? 1 hour 30, 1 hour 21. Do you know, actually, that's not bad. I quite like that to get into it as well. So let's just get rid of that. Lovely. Okay, so you've got an hour and 7 minutes of that. So put that, minimise that. Okay, so now that we've got ourselves sorted here on JB Motorsports, let's have a word with our drivers. No cars are currently out there on the circuit. As soon as they do move, we will bring it right back to you. Can't even see where my cursor is. Here we go. But let's hear what they had to say in the drivers' press conference now with Pascal Wehrlein as well out there to begin with.
Very much for all of your kind messages so far going out to the people of Valencia. Obviously, they are absolutely in our minds at this difficult time. And I'd like to welcome our first 3 drivers to speak publicly this week. Nico Müller from Andretti Formula E, Maximilian Günther with DS Penske, and our defending Formula E world champion Tag Heuer Porsche's Pascal Wehrlein. And Pascal, we'll start with you. You've been champion for nearly 4 months now. How's it been? How are you feeling? How's the attention been?
Yeah, it has been quite busy, busier off-season than usual, I would say. Quite a lot of PR and marketing activities, what I had to do, and I'm still doing until Sao Paulo. But yeah, it's a positive thing, so it was great. It gives you a bit more calmness and quietness in the off-season, you know, after such a success. So yeah, looking forward now that everything starts again, going back to normality, and yeah, looking forward to, you know, be working more closely again with the team, and yeah, that the season starts.
You have a target on your back now coming into this season. How does it change your mindset being the driver that everyone now wants to beat?
I'm not thinking about it. I mean, last season was last season, and now everyone starts from zero again, and everyone wants to beat everyone. So yeah, it's the same approach like every year. This year we have some changes, so this test is actually quite important to learn and understand more about it, about the new car. And yeah, then we try to do the same in the Drivers' Championship and to do one position better in the teams.
We've only seen this championship defended once before. How do you go about changing that statistic this season?
I try as hard as I can.
Any more detail on that? Because we know you're all, every driver, every team member, everyone is trying as hard as they can throughout the season, but Formula E is very hard to defend because it is so competitive. What is your mindset in keeping that #1 on the car next year?
You know, I'm just seeing it from race to race. Like I said, everyone starts from zero, so I will make sure in Sao Paulo that first of all I qualify well. Best case pole position, which gives you already 3 points, and then I try to have some good races. Yeah, there's nothing special or no special procedure I'm going to apply next season. Try to do the same, trying to be consistent. Yeah, taking every little detail and stretching the car to the maximum it can do, and then let's see where we are.
Okay, thank you very much, Pascal. Moving on to you, Maximilian. Jay Penske gave you your start in Formula E. How has it been to reunite?
Yeah, very special feeling. First of all, hello everyone, and yeah, enjoying a lot my first few months with the team, with DS Penske. Really, yeah, strong team, strong vision. Lots of great people in the team, lots of quality, and yeah, enjoying it a lot. I've been spending lots of time in the UK with our new sim there, getting ready for the season. Yeah, like Pascal mentioned, lots of changes, or quite a few changes on the car with the 4-wheel drive, new tires, different characteristic in the race with the fast charge. So yeah, lots of things to work on, to improve. So yeah, so far it has been going really well, and I'm enjoying this process as well now with the team during this week.
You've been here through Gen 2 and now Gen 3 into the Gen 3 Evo era. Cars obviously develop as the season goes on, as the generations go on. You've just kind of outlined the differences in the car going into this season. Which one of those changes in the car do you think will affect things the most?
Yeah, first of all, I really think it's great to see this evolution of Formula E on the efficiency side of the cars, the speed that we are achieving on the straight line now with the four-wheel drive, the acceleration, 0 to 100, like lots of impressive starts, and yeah, it's certainly very enjoyable behind the wheel with the four-wheel drive. I think we all really like it, all the drivers. It's a nice challenge as well, you know, to adapt your driving style, because I think we're the only championship that in one qualifying you go from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive, which I think is great. It's a great challenge. New tire characteristic as well this year, and yeah, I believe those two will be key factors for the performance.
Last season we saw you win your 5th race in Formula E, that magic moment in Tokyo. What's going to be key to you for more race victories this coming season?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, settling in my new team. Obviously, I know quite a few faces through Stellantis from working with them in the past 2 years. But yeah, for sure, I think there is some new things to me. It's great to be working with Jeff as well as my new teammate, and I think just the whole team in terms of how we approach it and how we execute. That's going to be priority number one. Competition, as we know in Formula E, is extremely tight. So all you can do is really maximize your own package. Try to do this the best possible way on every track, on every weekend. And yeah, this is how you can have a strong weekend. I feel, you know, like victories, you can't really force them. You can just try to do all from your side, and then they happen.
Well, we look forward to seeing this new partnership blossom for you, Maximilian. Thank you very much. Also coming on to Nico Müller with Andretti, you're also part of a new relationship going into season 11. How have the first few months been for you?
Very exciting. I mean, it's obviously a big change, you know, after 2 years with a very well-known team for myself, to come into a new surrounding with a new manufacturer. A great and exciting partnership that I'm looking forward to be a part of, and yeah, it's been good. I mean, I also spent some time in the UK. We didn't meet each other at Heathrow yet, but it's probably just a matter of time. Yeah, working in the sim, getting to know everybody, and making sure, you know, we can hit the ground running when we get on track. And Pascal touched on it. That's kind of the key week now. You know, getting the miles under our belts, testing all the stuff that we have on our plans, and keep building that relationship, which so far has been very positive.
You had a very strong end to last season, but there's a lot of change. We've already talked about the new car. We have new tracks. You've got a whole new team. How do you keep that momentum going from season 10 into season 11?
Yeah, I think we nearly start from a complete blank sheet of paper. There's so many changes being introduced, you know, from the championship side, the new tires, the updates on the car, the four-wheel drive, possibly some strategic elements as well that will come into play. So lots of new things to get on top of, and then obviously on top of that, I have to kind of get my head around a new car, new systems, and getting to work with new people. So there's definitely a long list to work through until we get to Sao Paulo. We're on a good way. I think that's so far been very smooth, but still lots of work ahead, and looking forward to go at it.
With the all-wheel drive, that's presumably going to change attack mode quite a lot. What's the strategy behind that? Because that's going to change, I think.
Yeah, I think in the past 2 years we've seen attack mode being used more in occasions where you didn't lose too much, because it was an element that threw you back in the field instead of actually giving you options to progress. I think that dynamic will completely change now with the four-wheel drive and the extra power. You will actually be making up positions quite easily just because of the extra pace you unlock from the car. So it will get a new dynamic in that phase of the race. And I'm quite sure it will make it even more exciting for the fans out there, even more difficult for us and the teams to make the right calls. But that's what we're here for.
Excellent. And obviously, entertaining the fans is a huge part of what we do here at Formula E. And I'd like to open up to questions both here in the room, and I think we've got people watching online, so we maybe get some questions online afterwards. But would anyone in the room like to ask a question to one of our drivers? Okay. Okay. Do we have a mic? Yeah, there we go. You're next, Jack.
Well, first of all, thank you for having this conference with us. This is a question for all of you three. What's your opinion as drivers about the introduction of recharge pit stops? Thank you.
I think it's a really cool element. I mean, obviously we prepare for it a lot in terms of strategy and how the race can play out. It definitely has a big impact as well. I think there are different live cases, you know, with possible safety cars, which can, you know, like flip it on either side. So yeah, certainly I think even more exciting, even more spectacular. For sure, from a driver's and team's perspective, more demanding than before, because you have more elements that you have to address. But I think, you know, racing and pit stops is something we all want to see, and it's definitely a cool element.
Yeah, I think for us as a manufacturer, it's an important topic because, you know, we have the transfer of from the road cars to the race cars and vice versa. So yeah, everything what we learn here, maybe in the future you will have in the Taycan and in the electric Macan. So for us it's an important topic. Yeah, we support that idea. I just feel like on the other hand, there could be races and situations coming up where it could be unfair for almost half of the field if there's a safety car at the wrong moment. So that needs to be checked and yeah, discovered how we could make that fairer, or yeah, if it happens at all. But yeah, generally I think it's a good idea and we support it.
Yeah, not so much to add. I think they covered most of it. I think it's definitely going to be a factor that can completely change the way we go at these races. You know, we've seen in the past that obviously you had this pack racing developing, and when you have a strategic element like attack charge, I think this will impact that sort of racing a lot. So definitely something that you know, all our engineers and us included, we're deeply looking into, because it will definitely play a big part in the outcome of your races.
Thank you very much for your question. We'll move on to Jack.
Got a question for you, Max. You've had 2 seasons where you've built so much momentum, and now you've decided to change teams. What was it about DS Penske that convinced you to make that switch?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time in my previous team in Maserati. We achieved some good milestones together, and yeah, I had a good time here. But yeah, for me, it's just a step forward in my career. It's really the vision I see in this team. I really feel, yeah, with this team, I can fight for a championship in the years to come. So yeah, that's what convinced me, and for me the decision making was very, very clear and very simple.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? Maybe time for one more if we've got anyone. Oh, here you go. Yeah.
Question to Pascal. Moritz Steidl, Servus to be my name. Pascal, you drove in Formula One. How much of a gratification was it now to get this title in a single-seater? I know you're a DTM champion as well. How much of a gratification was it? And also, did you get a feedback or some messages from people that work in Formula One or worked in Formula One?
Yeah, I got a lot of messages. I think we all get when we are doing well or winning races. The phone is yeah, is on fire, but yeah, on bad days I don't get so many messages. That's for sure. Yeah, it feels great. You know, I feel like let's say my F1 career was maybe not 100% fair. I still had a great time. But yeah, what can I do? So I just tried after that to make the most out of it, and definitely this title felt like the best year and the best achievement I had in my career. It was also the most fun because, you know, having also difficult years make you appreciate the nice years a lot more. So yeah, it was a great season, and I'm super grateful that I have such a great team behind me, and I'm working with so many good people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. I really enjoy this moment because it's not for granted that you have a strong package and a strong car. So I just want to make the most out of it in the next couple of years and enjoy this.
Nice words there as well from Pascal Wehrlein, our champion from the previous season. Well, the drivers have yet to go out. What on earth's happening here? Hello. Hello. Someone's clicking the wrong... it's on the wrong... There we go. Not a bad session actually coming through. Pascal Wehrlein doing a fantastic interview, so did Max Gunther as well. And let's fingers crossed it's going to be an interesting season. 100% we're in for a dramatic one, as we've seen in the shakedown so far. So far, nothing else is coming up. Still, no cars out on the circuit at the moment, which is a bitter disappointment. I was expecting a lot. But, so far, nothing else has happened. We're sort of in a limbo. Might have them out with an hour to go, though. So we've got an hour 16, hour on the board. Jack's back for the Max. So let's go back in time and join the team for all the action from the previous round 7 of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship from season 10. Let's go over and join Jess Ball and Ed Hunter. You can already hear them. Ready to go for the Monaco E-Prix.
Welcome to the FIA ABB Formula E World Championship as round 8 hits the streets of Monte Carlo for the Monaco E-Prix, a track that's been on the Formula E calendar since 2014, but in 2021 they modified it to be the traditional full length of the circuit. And you can see the track now 3.337 kilometres, and it makes its way around Saint-Devant Casino Square, which you can see going towards turn 2, where we see quite a few overtakes. You also got the tunnel section. We'll scrap that. The tunnel section in a minute. We've got turn number 4, where a tap mode will be used, and we got 10 and 11 outside the tunnel, where we could see, I think, the most overtakes today. The swimming pool section, where we saw Wehrlein take, I think, quite a few dedicated routes as well in terms of manoeuvres as well in qualifying. But here's your starting grid. Taylor Barnard in his debut race in Formula E starts 22nd, with Nico Muller starting 21st due to an engine penalty. Dan Ticktum starts 20th, with Norman Nato in 19th. Jay Dennis starts 18th, with Lucas de Grassi starting 17th, joining him. We've got Jake Hughes and Oliver Rowan, an all-British road there, starting 16th and 15th. Sasha Fenestrad's line up 14th, with Nick de Vries, the Dutchman, starting in 13th. We've got Eduardo Mortara starting in 12th. We've got Sergio Sete Camara in 11th spot. Jehan Deruvela had his best qualifying of the season, starting in 10th place, with Robin Freitz just missing out in the duels in 9th. Maximilian Gunther starting in 8th place, with Antonio Pires da Costa looking to redeem himself after horrific Mazzano after getting disqualified. And as you can see on your screen from Ed, here is your top 6. In 6th place is Sebastian Bremy in the Vision Racing car. Jornet Byrne starts in 5th place in a DS Penske. In 4th place, we've got Mitch Evans in the Jaguar TCS Racing car. And then we got our top 3, Nick Cassidy, having his best qualifying in a while, just missing out and getting into the finals. But he's done very, very well there. Stoffel Van Dorn starting in 2nd place. Can he replicate what Da Costa done many years ago? And Pascal Wehrlein, the quickest qualifying of the session, starts on pole position. The quickest time of the whole session. That's what I was trying to say. So we're about to get underway. I'm joined by Ed Hunter once again. Ed, we got a race in Monaco. One of the races to look forward to as they're about to do burnouts on the grid before we get started.
Oh, that was a slick operation, wasn't it? We just about got through that. But the predictor game formally doing this, 39% of their audience think that Wehrlein is going to win, which is a considerable amount considering how many drivers we've got on the grid here. But this is where the trouble starts, isn't it, Jess? Because this is where danger is at its highest, and most likely you've got to keep that front wing and the rest of the car in one piece here. I have a feeling a couple of drivers might not make the end of this one. Taylor Barnard, he's just got to stay out of trouble because that's the best chance he's got of scoring any points today.
Yes, obviously you get points for pole position. Wehrlein has got those today, as the grandstands are all falling up as we're about to get underway for the 8th round of the FIA Formula E World Championship. We got 3, 4, 5 red lights. Action in Monaco. Verline gets a good start from Van Dorn in towards Sandervoort. We got free wide potentially with Nick Cassidy joining in the action, as well as the other of Jaguar of Mitch Evans as well. As we got a few debris lying about, but it's Verline that leads. And the time is going everywhere. So we've got Van Dorn in second, Mitch Evans in third, Cassidy in fourth. So Van Dorn just about holding on into Casino Square right now as they head towards the next part of the Latin Pass attack mode, which they can use in multiple intervals, 8 minutes at a time. And look at how people wanting to try and go side by side into a section you don't normally go in Formula 1, but Verline Ed holds on to the lead with Van Dorn just behind.
Yes, and look at that. Frines trying to go around the outside of Jehan de Ruvela at the Lowe's hairpin and just being thwarted. Meanwhile, Roland has got past his teammate Fenestraus to run 13th then, as Mortara has made a brilliant start up to 11th, as we see De Vries making a move on Dennis, squeezing him out of Portier just before the tunnel there. So not a great first lap for Jake Dennis, and this is what happens when you qualify near the back of the pack. He's got it all to do, really, and De Vries is really going to hold him up in this stint.
It is not the race where you want to be starting near the back as De Vries and Dennis getting squeezed there. He almost got damaged, yeah. So not ideal for Dennis or De Vries there. So I did see someone trying to make him. This is not the race that we saw in Misano where people could go everywhere to try and gain loads of positions into one corner. I did see someone moving up a position in the background as well.
Dennis trying to pass De Vries,
again,
and De Vries has lost half of his front wing.
Yeah, it was Dennis and De Vries just scrapping it. I think those are the only two that are going for it right now. Now, this is the first lap where they can start to use attack mode if they wanted to. It's one of those tracks where you want to ideally get underway. So here is the start. I wish they used this camera for the start, really. They use a far up camera for the start. I kind of wish they used a replay camera. So someone had an awful start in towards number one. Let's watch it from near the background as well. And we're just seeing different angles as well. It's very, very confusing, but it shows that
Muller backed off a lot.
Yeah, he did. So Muller's down in last.
He's right alongside Barnard.
Yeah, Muller's down in last place.
Let Taylor Barnard go through. As these the Jaguars going side by side. So Evans tried to go around the outside of Cassidy and succeeded at the first corner. That was the big move. And there's a bit of De Vries' front wing, I think, falling off at the first corner there. But yeah, obviously they're trying to go 2 and 3 wide on the first lap, as we see a replay of Roland.
Yep, so Roland trying to make his way in towards turn number 1. And I think he made a few places up to 13th. So he's doing not too bad at all, Oliver Roland. He gained 2 places off the start, as there's a few other drivers as well. As I think I just saw Dennis, De Vries losing quite a few positions there, but it might be just the timings having a bit of a hissy fit there as well. We've got Gunther and Vern having a battle in the swimming pool. We also got Bremy as well. Bremy drops a little bit from Vern, but Vern's just about closing up to Gunther. And Gunther, this is great for him. He obviously got these all right deep points in round 6, but not too right in round 7. So this is the time where Gunther really needs to climb up the championship. But by the way, no team radios this weekend. We can't get the audio, but Gunther is trying to catch up on Nick Cassidy. The 2 Jaguars up in front. One of the teams that's committed to the next gen cars, Ed.
Yeah, I think Nissan is the other squad that's committed as well to Gen 4, which is great to have those 2 OEMs, big manufacturers of EVs. As you see Verline going for attack mode then. That is very early, so he's going to come out in between the 2 Jaguars. He's behind both of them. So there we go. Stoffel Van Dorn takes the lead, and now Verline finds himself just trying to hold position from Gunther then, but he should be really quick down the straights as he desperately tries to defend. So we're going to see how effective attack mode is here, because Verline, if he gets held up here, Van Dorn could potentially overcut him using a later attack mode.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, I was just trying to enable and disable video, but
Vern has got past Gunther in all of that as well. So Vern up to 5th.
Vern up to 5th.
Now he's going for the outside of Verline.
Yep, he is. I did say, Ed, that the Penske's were potentially going to be doing well going into this, and I was not wrong. So they're doing quite decent at the moment. That's why my Discord going on the other screen. There we go. Got it on my
attack
screen.
mode is just absolutely useless here, isn't it, Jess? Verline is dropping like a stone down the order, but luckily he only had a minute of attack mode, so now he's got it out of the way. It's everyone else's problem in front of him who haven't used theirs yet, as Verline now tries to go up the inside. He's being attacked by Gunther now as well.
Yeah, Gunther is really going at it at the moment. I think there's only a few drivers that are using a lot of the attack mode. Dan Ticktum is using about 5 minutes already. So he's key to get it very quickly. Van Dorn still leading, but don't forget, he's still got to take his attack mode as well. If I was Van Dorn, I would take it now. As instant between Dennis and Roland noted. So I think something must have happened with Dennis and Roland earlier on in lap 1. But,
well, there we go.
Is that Roland?
NATO? No, that's Norman NATO.
Oh, yeah, he's dropped down to last. So he's got no front wing. I wonder if a safety car will be called there, as one of the Penske's is fighting with... Oh, no, it might not be the Penske, actually. It's one of the probably...
Yeah,
yellow flag.
Jeff fighting Cassidy.
Yellow flag has
And
been
that's Blaney
waved.
being hit by Sede Kamara.
Oh, there's 2 cars
And
that are
DeCosta's
off.
caught up in that as well.
I wonder if there'll be a safety car for this. And
That's Buemi stuck then at the Lowe's hairpin. So yellow
yeah,
flag
still
waves at
going.
the moment. Is he going to reverse out? Oh dear.
he's still going, but I think he's got a bit of damage. But we got side-by-side action in towards
again.
end of the tunnel. You see, you don't get this in Formula 1. You get this in Formula E. That is why you keep watching. We got one of the McLarens all being boxed in almost by Jake Dennis, I think it was. I think it was Jake Hughes to Ruvala. Yeah, Jake Hughes and Ruvala. Double yellow at turn 6. It's going to stay there until obviously Buemi gets a move on, of course. As we'll look at the replay, actually, of what happened elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that was Jake. That
And
was
this
Jake
is
Hughes.
Mortara and Hughes.
Yeah, it was
And
Mortara.
then Jake Dennis trying to go round the outside of Mortara as a result of that.
Mortara's dropped down to 20th, so I wonder if he's had an issue there.
Yeah, he was lucky he didn't get squeezed into the wall. Let's look at this. The Ruvala trying to defend from Fenestraz and Dennis there, and failing to do so. Ollie Rowland's got into 9th in all of this chaos from down, what was he, 15th,
Oh,
16th
look at
on
that.
the grid. Oh,
There's got to be
and
a safety car. It's got to be a
that's
safety car.
Mortara.
Mortara's hit the wall as well. And what a great weekend is turned to absolutely misery. And if there's no safety car, safety car is out.
So I wonder if the front wing went underneath the car there.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he got affected by that contact. But they're all squabbling for position just before the safety car gets caught. And this is going to be a bit of a mess to untangle, Jess. So they're all going to have to give way to one another and shuffle into an order here.
Yes, and for some people, like Van Dorn and Vern, this has helped them because they've used their attack mode at a good time because people think, oh, attack mode is useful. It's not for places like Monaco, and that's going to take a long time to clear it up. If it's Formula 1, surely it would have been a red flag. I won't be surprised if a red flag does get called out.
Yeah, or Mortara just looked like he went a bit wide because he was side by side with Tickton before we cut away. And it looks like Mortara just understeered off into the wall. A very Nico Rosberg 2008 Monaco sort of accident there into that same wall. And lucky he didn't bounce back and collect anyone else as well. So that could have been an awful lot worse. But we got a lot of debris on track, so no wonder the safety car is out. Because look at Mortara's front wing skidding across right in front of Lucas Di Grassi there. But as you say, this is perfect for Van Dorn, this safety car. Scott Elkins on race control tells the drivers what to do. So hopefully they'll be told of where the debris is and able to avoid it and nobody gets any punches. But yeah, for Van Dorn and Jev, getting this first attack mode out of the way is ideal for them. As look at De Vries was front wing just about hanging on at this phase of the race. But Verline is the big loser because he did his attack mode in racing conditions, struggled with wheel spin, and lost track positions because of it. So Evans, Cassidy, and Verline sort of in the same boat here. I think Van Dorn potentially is in the box seats to win this one now, depending on how the next attack mode phase goes, as the Mahindra mechanics look on in concern, hoping that Mortara is okay, and I think we all are, Jess.
I think we all hoping if he's okay because I can't see him getting out the car yet, unless they've probably got out the car anyway. So if the safety car has been going for more than 3 or 4 minutes, then there'll be additional laps added to the end of this race. At the moment, we've got 29 laps. I think we were going to be going on for a bit longer than that as the safety car comes out.
Hughes must have a front wing dangling off, and he's been told to pit in. Yeah, there we go, front wing change.
So yeah,
He lost it in some contact.
yeah, Hughes must have lost it somewhere. What a shame for McLaren. It's not been a day. And speaking of McLaren, Taylor Barnard is currently using his attack mode. The only one to have done so
That
far.
will help. He stayed out of trouble, hasn't he? With Da Costa and Buemi getting sort of trapped at the hairpin. That's really helped
He's
Taylor
like
Barnard
me.
into 16th place.
He's like me on in my first ever league race. I stayed out of trouble and got a decent result. It wasn't points, but it was not last. So I think Barnard's just getting used to the car right now, and if he avoids the trouble, he can still get a decent result. Like you said, I don't think he'll get points, but if he
There's Mortara.
yeah, Motora's out the car. That is really good news.
This could be a long safety car, Jess. Look at how much that barrier has been extended out there. So
Why is there no red flag?
Marshall's
Oh,
hopefully-
that's what I like to know. I think there should be a red flag.
I don't know. I don't think it's quite that bad. So this is how it happened. We're seeing a replay now. Fenestraz goes up the inside. Tictum tries to follow through. And yeah, there's just almost not quite enough space there, isn't there? So, and again, so lucky that the Tech Pro did its job and sort of clinged him towards the barrier rather than bouncing him back into the track surface there. So I wonder if Tictum might be in trouble for that one, because that was it's not usually a place you see cars go too wide, the swimming pool.
I think he looks deflated, isn't he, in that car? But thank goodness he's safe and he's able to
Exactly.
to get out of the car. As of that impact looks very huge, but no points
Yeah, there
again.
was no contact with Tictum.
No, there was no
with
contact.
Tictum,
No,
unfortunately, so-
no, he just hit the ball himself.
Yeah, maybe there was just not enough grip around the outside there, and that was all.
Yeah, I think we've
yeah.
seen it with the F1 cars as well. It's just so easy to lose it there. So, but I think he looks okay, but I'm almost certain he will probably get checked out just like Sam Burr. But I think obviously his injury is less serious, and he's just going to have a bit of a debrief with the team. But at the moment, he just wants to cool down and just calm down from the situation and pretend this has never happened.
Exactly. Yeah, he joined Sam Bird on the sidelines, I guess. But at least, unlike Sam Bird, Ido doesn't have to walk around with a massive cast protecting his hand. So I think he quite wisely took his hands off the wheel, if you see the replay there, or at least because he went straight on, that it wasn't a case of him just tagging the wall and it frushing the wheel either way to sort of correct itself there. But yeah, so the race, once we get going again, and this is quite a lot, like I said, I'm expecting this to be a long safety car, so we could have quite a lot of added laps at the end of this one, and I wonder if the teams are going to be on the ball here, as we see a spare DS Penske. One is leading the race, one is in fifth, and there's another one on top of that yacht there. So hopefully DS Penske won't end up needing the spare car if this does get red flag. But I think they're probably going to try and just stay under safety car for as long as possible, Jess, at the moment. I think.
I hope there's no
maybe
red
the
flag.
Tech
I've
Pro
got a
something
race at
straightened
4
out.
o'clock.
I know, but because we're going to get that extension, it's a bit like British touring cars, isn't it? If you need to go, Jess, I can just stay and cover to the end.
Well, I'm streaming, so I have to stay.
All right.
So I've
thought
got a plan if it's being extended. Don't worry. I'm just.
Look at this. Sede Kamara
that's
diving at the inside of
Bremy.
Buemi at low hairpin. And yeah, Costa was right behind on the outside, so he got caught, and Buemi, I'm sure, is giving a expletive-filled French response to that.
It's like, oh my god, what has happened? It's like a Concertina effect as well. Luckily, no more cars were
I
involved
think
in
a
the
little bit
incident.
less eloquent than what you just said there, Jess.
Yeah, less eloquent.
More
Yeah.
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, I can see that actually looking back at it. As it's still a
Helen
double
from
yellow.
Fiercely Electric.
It's still a double yellow, so they still haven't cleared it just yet.
So Helen from Fiercely Electric, who's a fan of FE Bar and Formula E Zone, has tweeted just one word watching this race: chaos.
I would play
Which
a
I think's,
soundboard,
pretty
but I'm
accurate.
not going to.
That's okay. We're very professional here, Jess.
Yeah,
You don't need to stoop
exactly.
down to
I will
Josh
play it I'll play it at the end of the stream.
Your restraint is to be applauded, right?
Exactly. that is true. So your order then.
Unfortunately,
Sorry, Ed, carry on.
go on. I was just going to say, unfortunately, we're going to have to fill during this, which is exactly what you didn't want to have to do, Jess.
Honestly, for those of you that don't know, just tuned into this, I've got a cold, which is not ideal. It tends to be usually when I go on holiday, a week before or a week after I get a cold, and it tends to be the week after this time. So your order at the moment is Van Dorn, who's already taken his attack mode, leading from Mitch Evans in second, Nick Cassidy in third, Verline in fourth. We've got John Eric Verne in fifth spot. As we're seeing Roger Griffiths from Andretti right now. And speaking of Andretti, Jake Dennis is in 10th, so he's gained a lot of places from the start. Gunther in 6th, Fright in 7th, Seta Kamara gained a bit as well as Oliver Rowland. And Dribble staying where he was in 11th. Dan Tixon doing quite well as well, avoiding the chaos. Then we had Degrassi, Venestrad, Nick De Vries, Taylor Barnard. And then we've had quite a few issues near the back, having to change front wings and stuff like that. And here is one of them that you can see on your screen. I think that's Norman Nato as he makes his way into the pit lane. But I think he's still going to race. But the only person that is out is Mortara. He's not going to take any further part. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get...
the message. The collision between Mortara and... between Sergio Seta Kamara and Buemi is under investigation. So Seta Kamara could be in trouble for diving up the inside of Buemi.
Yeah, if you think he's in trouble...
Would that be a good time to bring in Omi while we're waiting, by the way?
No, Omi's just watching.
Oh, okay, sure. I didn't see Josh T anywhere, so it's only fair enough.
Yeah, Josh T, by the way, is prepping for British Touring Cars qualifying, a new qualifying session, which is going to be starting not that long before we finish, by the way, so no clashes. Whoa! So you'll be able to watch that as...
It's going to be tight the way things are going, though, Jess.
It is going to be tight.
But at the moment... They've got it back in place.
At the moment, there's no clashes, but Josh T is hoping that there's no red flags with British Touring Cars. Well, as soon as British Touring Cars over, he has to go somewhere. So he's hoping that. But yeah, that's why he's getting ready for that. It's the first qualifying of the season and the first new format as well, just similar to IndyCar. So at Donington Park National, and Joshua Birch will be trackside for the first time. In quite a while, actually, covering a few MotoGP races trackside. He's going to be near the track somewhere, commentating trackside for BTCC with Megan in the box and Josh Shee doing team view. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow, to watching that. This is a day where I'm definitely going to take it easy. Safety car's still out, so it is...
They did show the energy percentages, though, Jess, and interestingly, Evans 1% up on Stoffel Van Dorn. So... Van Dorn may have got his attack mode out of the way, but he might not necessarily be doing the best on energy management. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it's pretty even between the sort of top 5. It's Gunther onwards where they're all starting to struggle for energy because they've used so much of it to gain places.
Yeah, I think he wanted to use a lot of it. Now, let me try, if I can... Actually, no, I closed the media centre. Never mind. I was going to try and get an interview from Nikki Shields, but I couldn't get the media centre in time. But never mind. We're way behind TV pictures anyway in terms of that, because that would have been a bit annoying. But I'm guessing he's just saying what happened. She's saying what happened to Mortara. But they're back. So yeah, I just missed it. Typical. Shows I need to be a bit more prepared for these type of things. Luckily, we only have one race.
You said it was your day, or you were having a relaxed day or something because you're not feeling well, Jess. So I think it's fair. This has all been a bit last minute, as we kind of knew it would be.
Track clear in turns 4 and 13. So safety car's in this lap.
Yeah, there we go. So we're going to get underway once more. So you see a replay of Van Dorn leading the pack. I wonder how long he's going to be able to hold off Evans, because Evans looks like he's going to try and set up Van Dorn for the restart here.
Yep, so they cleared it pretty quickly, so massive well done to all the marshals there.
Nikki Shields says that Eduardo Mortara tried to brake, but there was no response, so it seems like a technical issue. So brake failure of some kind, maybe brake by wire, as we go green flag.
Green flag here at Monaco will be up to Van Dorn to choose where to go, of course, but he needs to save quite a bit of his energy. He's still got quite a bit of his attack mode to use, so he hasn't used all of it, where some drivers around him still haven't used it.
And look at that. Cassidy got caught out there, miles behind Mitch Evans, at least 2 or 3 car lengths.
Yeah, I think Cassidy lost a bit of time, but we got Mitch Evans trying to go around the outside of Stoffel Van Dorn in towards Zander Vort. Couldn't quite do it.
And is this Is this Cassidy trying to build a gap so Evans can take attack mode into it?
Maybe, potentially. I don't know. I hope it wasn't a mistake from Cassidy. And I wonder if it's team players. We've got some attack modes, I think, going to be used potentially. You can see on your screen as we've got, I think, Jake Dennis going to use his. Roland. So we've got 2 drivers using it as well. I did see someone else. That was Degrassi, Muller and Bremy. You can see the attack mode on the screen. The only one that hasn't used all of it is Evans, Cassidy, Gunter, Fright, and it's all gone away from my screen now, so I couldn't really see who that was.
Yeah, so the virtual race engineer is saying Evans and Cassidy are in a strong energy position to attack Van Dorn. Yeah, Evans is really going for track position here. Look at him weaving this way and that, and Van Dorn getting very, very defensive. So Evans doesn't want to use attack mode until he's got ahead of Van Dorn.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well, because I think he wants that gap, and I'm sure Cassidy will do his best to help achieve that as well. But you have to use it within a certain time frame as well. It's on lap 9 of 29 right now. Interestingly, still the safety car zone is still there on the track map, or it might just be me reading into things too much.
Yeah, I think we're good.
As I think I'm just looking at who's used. I think Roland's only using 2 minutes. Muller, Bremy, Degrassi, and Dennis are using 5 minutes of attack mode. So they're going for the 5.
Dennis trying to go around the outside of Sede Camera on his attack mode. And oh, look at that. Is that Deruvla going up the inside of Robin Frines into turn 1? Good move there from the Indian.
That was brilliant move from him as well. I think I did see someone else going side by side there in towards turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, Dennis getting Sede Camara and stealing the final point away from him. And Tictum's gone for as well as Fenestras.
Yeah, Tictum, I have to say.
And Evans takes the lead.
And Evans takes the lead of the race because Van Dorn has just taken his final lot of attack mode, and that will be it until the end now. As we're seeing, I think, a lot moves in the hairpin.
Crucially as well.
Cassidy game through. 5-second time penalty for Sede Camara for causing a collision. So Sede Camara has got a 5-second time penalty.
Oh, he's just fallen down to 19th from 11th then. As we see Taylor Barnard starting to fall down the pack as well. So Sede Camara, it's insult to injury really. And look where he's come out right in front of the person he crashed into, Boemi. As we have a random cut to the the stationary ES Penske in the harbour. Yeah, the TV director doesn't seem to have his right priorities here. I wonder if this is.
I wonder if it's telling. Oh God!
And that's Dennis. Dennis with front wing under the car there.
A lot of smoke pouring from Jake Dennis. I think he's got a front wing change as well. That's going to be gutting after he's getting quite a few positions from this race already. And surely that will bring out another safety car. It's green flag at the moment.
Just about get that to the pits, yes.
Yeah, I think he can just get it to the pits. He's very lucky. Yeah, he must have.
That's really costly. Look at Roland ahead of the 2 Maseratis now in 6th. So he just keeps gaining position subtly. He's using that Nissan powertrain well and staying out of trouble. And he could potentially challenge for the podium late on here. Let's look at this. Frines now under attack from Dan Tictum as Evans now is about to go into attack mode.
Yep. Evans, like that, as soon as he's taken the lead, he's gone attack mode and he still keeps the lead. So good tactics from Mitch Evans.
Backing off to give him a gap.
Yeah,
we
brilliant.
Knew Jaguar would try and work together.
And that is good. That is good between Evans and Cassidy. That is exactly what I would expect them to do. As Van Dorn still got 4 minutes left of attack mode. And Vern's still quite a bit to use up as well. So they all head through the tunnel. Just look at that gap. That gap between first and second is quite a bit. You can see everyone else pulling away. This is going to be crucial for Mitch Evans' race. I know Mitch Evans still got quite a bit of attack mode to go, but he could technically still use another attack mode afterwards and still get out in the lead. But this is what happened to Jay Dennis. As I thought TV pictures had a moment there. But yeah, this is what happened to Jake Dennis, it looks like. You can see the replay.
Oh, he cut across the chicane, so the contact may have happened a bit earlier on, Jess.
Yeah, it looked like it, and he cut off as well. And that's him out the race. That's him out the race. He's not taking any further part. Oh, no, he's going. He's going. I thought he looked deflated. He looked deflated, and I thought, oh, now he was out the race. But don't panic, Jake Dennis fans. He's still in the race. Don't panic.
I think Sede Kamara is going in to serve that 5-second penalty as well. But
Yeah.
it's all kicking off with behind Cassidy, essentially. Van Dorn not able to get through. And this is really compromising DS Penske's race, because now they find themselves really fighting for third and fourth against Verline then, who has really been the big loser in the first 15 laps or so of this encounter. And Roland, meanwhile, is using that attack mode well. Oh, and that's Gunther using his, or is that Deruvula? It's all a bit pixelated. It's Deruvula, sorry.
Yeah, it's Deruvula that's using the attack mode. And so look at the Penskes following out each other, and we also got Verline as well. Don't forget, he started pole and he's already down into 6th place, so he's dropped quite a bit. He wants to gain quite a bit and redeem himself again as they head through the tunnel.
Yeah, he lost out because that early safety car.
He did, because he used his attack mode early. He used his attack mode, or he didn't use attack mode at all, I don't think, whereas the others did.
Yeah, and now he's still trying to defend, as we see. There we go, 5-second penalty.
Well, we said that beforehand, but it has been confirmed now, yes.
This is the broadcast catching up. He's already served that, as far as I'm concerned, because he went into the pits along with Dennis. And in fact, he's gone to attack mode again then. So it's all changed at the bottom end of the order, but at the top, it's Jaguar, DS Penske, Porsche, and Maserati, your top 6, with Roland and Fenestrau 7th and 8th. So Roland is making good progress here. Could potentially be in line to challenge with this lead group here if he plays his cards right. But yeah, Van Dorn, they're sort of waiting for Van Dorn to run out of attack mode before they let Cassidy go into attack mode, essentially, at Jaguar. And Evans now 2.8 seconds in the lead, using attack mode again.
Yeah, Vern using people potentially using their attack mode again, as we've got, I think, more people wanting to use it. Mitch Evans, yeah. And I think we've got Robin Freitz that is using his attack mode as well. So they want to get it out of the way, of course, before the end. As the timings keep changing to reflect on who's using their attack mode as well. But look at this. I think we've got Norman Nato, who's had some issues earlier on, is all the way up into 12th position, as I'm just trying to get the TV pictures to actually see the timings, because it's a bit blurry my end, but it's because I'm on the smaller screen for that one. So nothing to do with the TV pictures at all. Have we got Eddie moving to the tunnel section potentially? That's been a huge cause of incident in the last few laps, but it's A-OK at the moment. Mitch Evans still leads with attack mode.
Yeah, team radio to Cassidy, so they're clearly giving him some instructions there. But yeah, Mitch Evans, it's so important that he pulls away now with his second attack mode. Look at that, Gunther trying to go up the inside of the second part of the swimming pool on John-Eric Verne. Did he make it through there? I don't think he did, because Verline's got back through into 5th.
Yeah, Verline back into 5th spot, so good for him as the timing screens catch up. There we go. So he's a few places above, and I'm guessing Nicky Shields is interviewing Andretti about obviously what happened with their 2 cars as well. What could have been for those 2? Obviously, Nato had an issue earlier on. As Freitz and Dennis under investigation causing the collision. So I think it must have been the incident in the tunnel that we didn't get much review of.
Must have hit Freins then, and that damaged the front wing. Tictum struggling on energy compared to those around him in 10th. It could be difficult for ERT to score points. He's got degrees all over him.
Hello. Oh my God, you made me jump.
Sorry. There you are. Track noise and everything.
We're commentating here, Josh.
Sorry, over to you.
As you were saying, Ed.
Oh, and that looks like one of the apps crashing into someone at the hairpin. I think he was trying to make a move on Tictum and DeVries. Oh, it's DeGrassi being barged out of the way by DeVries at Portier. And I can hear the commentary in the background of your headphones, Josh. So clearly, I know who you prefer to listen to. But look at this. Freins now attacking DeGrassi into the chicane. And, oh, does he make contact there? Yes, pushing him across. And looks like DaCosta going across as well. So pretty much everyone from 8th downwards has had a messy race, and DeGrassi's front wing hanging by a thread then, looking dangerously close to dragging it on the tarmac.
What's going on with the TNT audio, by the way? Because I could barely hear it again.
Well, I'm trying to change it around.
And there's DeGrassi making the most aggressive dive in motor racing.
Wait, hold on, Ed. I just want to listen to the track audio.
Well, during a replay's not great. Here you go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ace, enjoy, guys.
Cheers, Josh.
Okay.
Hopefully we should all be okay. As yellow flag.
Oh.
Yellow flag at turn 1.
So is that Cassidy being told to attack mode this lap? And that means he's going to hold position over Evans then. The Jaguar playing an interesting game here.
Oh, it's debris. I think it's debris in turn 1, so I don't see any on the track map as...
Oh, and look at that. Van Dorn, is that him losing third position to Jev there because he went wide at the hairpin and Jev dived up the inside.
Yeah, that was a good move from John Byrne. 3rd and 4th right now, just like they were in qualifying. So we've got Jaguar, Depensky, Porsche, and then we've got Ronin and Venestraz. As we're seeing, I think, Gunther.
Well, Gunther's just gone into attack mode. He's now stuck behind Venestraz. As look at that, Stoffel Van Dorn defending from Verline. So this, I wonder if this is tactical from DS Pensky. Jev, look, has not used any of his attack mode yet. Oh no, he did in the first. He's still got one left, whereas
Deribla has
Van
not
Dorn
used
and
it
Evans
at all.
Yeah, Deribla really struggling down in 16th. Then he'll have to use it to try and make some progress. Oh, there's Frines, the front wing looking very mangled.
He's got to go into the pits, and he's not.
Oh, that's risky, the way it's dangling there. There could be a meatball flag from the stewards. Maybe that's what the yellow flags are for.
That might be, yeah. What? I just want to know why is there a yellow flag in turn 1? As there's a bit of a lock-up. Oh, that is one of the envisions.
It's cracking against the wheel. That's Frines, yeah, that we were just looking at. I think this is Jev going into attack mode.
Yeah, so John Byrne using his attack mode. Yeah, so we're quite a few using their attack mode at the moment just to get it out of the way.
Oh, Jev asking if he can be let through past Van Dorn. Now he's in attack mode.
Ooh, what would you do?
Probably let him through, I guess, but Van Dorn probably wants to hold on to that podium for as long as possible. But if the Penske's fight, then that ends it to Jaguar, and Jaguar already starting to run away with this one. Evan's still got about 30 seconds left of attack mode. I wonder if Cassidy has sort of outfoxed him here because somehow Evans has slowed down enough to give him a big gap which he can use to go into attack mode, 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think if I were Depensky, I think let Van Dorn them through, and if that doesn't work, switch the places back.
Problem is that Verline's right behind them as well, so if they do that, they've got in danger of losing.
That's a good point. So I think Vern is not seeing the bigger picture here if Van Dorn lets Vern through.
They need to pull a gap to Pascal, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They need to pull a gap. So, yeah, so if I were them, wait until you get the gap, then switch position, and then if you can't do it, then switch positions back. As we have got the final attack modes being used here. According to our time, it's been Nick Cassidy. We also got...
And he's come out ahead of Evans as well, crucially. So Cassidy looking good for second win in a row. Oh, they're going side by side, actually.
Oh, that was brilliant. Mitch Evans has got the position back again. Mitch Evans in the lead.
It's all a bit strategic, though, isn't it? And look at this, Roland trying to go around the outside of Pascal Verline. Roland looking so aggressive in this race. What a charge he's been on, Jess, from 15th on the grid, was it?
Yeah, 15th on the grid, and he's up to 6th spot at the moment. So this has been a really good race for him. A few places more, he'll be on the podium. So he's probably going to try and capitalise from anyone making a mistake, potentially. So if these people keep squabbling, that will allow Roland to be like, thank you very much, I could get that pass in. As we got Frank using his attack mode. What could have been for him? As Evans... I'm just trying to see if I can hear the team radio just in the background, but I can't.
Yeah, they're speaking over it.
Yeah, just like Rosberg did in the Chinese Grand Prix.
Well, to be fair, with Formula E, Tom Brooks had a good excuse for that, which is that they're obviously live radio and they're sort of hearing the talk back on. And there we go, new tyre being put on Frines' Envision there. So another terrible race for Envision, the second one in a row where it looks like neither of them are going to be able to score any points unless something bizarre happens. But yeah, are we going to see how Robin Frines lost that front wing in the first place or damaged it? Oh, he went side by side with the Costa into turn one. And that was what cost him. Costa's front wing not looking too healthy either, Jess.
Nope, it doesn't. It looks very... I'm surprised they haven't been given the meatball flag, to be honest.
Yeah, they've been very lax on that, especially at Monaco, where we saw these issues last year, didn't we? With several cars. And they sort of just decided to let them stay out and try and resolve them themselves. As Roland now side by side with Enistras. And it looks like Gunther trying to dive up the inside of Oliver Roland there.
Oh!
Is this Enistras in trouble? He's gone into attack mode and he's just got no traction here.
I'll tell you what, guys, as well, we've been watching the race while doing the Moto E, as we see him on the outside. Gunther trying to go Roland and then the chicane, cuts the corner as well. We were taking a look at it. That crash in Mortar was absolutely insane, but this is a different style of racing for Peloton. I'm watching it now, just sat down in the commentary box, listening to you two. It's a weird experience, but what fantastic racing, proving that, yeah, you can have a good race at Monte Carlo.
I was looking forward to this all week.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Around the outside again from Gunther.
This is insane.
On Fenestras. Look at Da Costa up to P7, Jess. He's somehow stayed out of trouble, and now he's right behind Roland, although Gunther's just got back through him.
A track that he's won in, I can't remember what year it was. 2021, that was it. 2021.
Yeah. The one that we keep talking about, yes.
Do we have to talk about that? I get told off when I do it.
I prefer a bit of variety here and there. But yeah, Van Dorn is still ahead of Jev, and Jev's about to run out of attack mode in the next 56 seconds, so might Jev be ruining the fact that Stoffel Van Dorn didn't let him through? Let's look at Pascal Wehrlein starting to attack him now, and it's getting very bunched up behind because Roland is seeing Gunther and Wehrlein fighting, and he's trying to line them up.
I think Wehrlein's got the inside line, and he's perfectly positioned to get through in the tunnel as well. We've got Gunther as well joining the fun. Could potentially go side by side with Wehrlein. And I think they're going to stay ahead for now. Wehrlein is just edging at the moment, and with that squabbling, it's allowing Van Vern and Van Dorn to close in. Oh, someone's cut the circuit.
Sitting across the chicane there.
I'm sure that'll be lap time deleted, but incident between Bremy and Wehrlein has been noted, by the way, by the stewards.
It's a Gunther and Wehrlein, actually, isn't it?
No, race control saying Bremy and Wehrlein.
Yeah, but we got another incident between Gunther and Wehrlein that's also being noted. And look at this. The two are still battling, Jess.
They are still fighting, and Gunther's not letting this one go because Gunther does not want Roland to get past.
Yes, exactly. Oliver Roland has been picking them off one by one. Luckily, Roland is sort of being a bit distracted by Da Costa behind him now. And now that Da Costa has cleared Fenestras.
Has Roland got wing damage? Just looking at it, there's a front end flap just flapping away. I don't know if you spotted that. But I just see wing damage.
I did not see it, actually.
With his low fidelity.
How is he keeping up with that amount of wing damage?
Go on the outside.
As long as he doesn't fall off, he won't have to come in. Let's look at this. Gunther. Oh!
That was close. That's good for down a few places
Roland's
now.
gaining so many places. Look how forceful he's being here. And look at this. Now he's going to try and attack Pascal Wehrlein. Oh, and there's they're making more contact as well.
And that's the other one going through. Is that
that's Da Costa? Yeah. Da
Costa flying through. Fenestras is looking for a way on the inside. I was expecting Jaguar to do well here, especially Evans. He was my picker winner. Again, look at that braking, and he's out-braked himself again. Gunther cuts the track for a third time.
I'm sure that's not allowed. Surely that'll be a black and white flag. He's got to get the place back, otherwise he'll get a 5-second penalty.
He did. He was side by side with Da Costa, and in fact, it looks like he's let Fenestras through as well.
Oh yeah, he has on the timings. He has, so that's good. So he won't get a penalty for that. He'll just be given a warning, saying, "Do not do it again."
Right, remember, we got a certain amount of added laps due to that lengthy safety car earlier, so we're on 21 or 29, but we're probably looking at 32, 33, 34, 35 laps or something like that.
Yeah. And now is good for cutting the the tunnel bit again.
Chicane.
Chicane, whatever. So those are there's 4 or 5 drivers that have not used either attack mode at all, or have not used their last part of the attack mode. So they got to use it right at the end of the race, of course, because otherwise they'll get a hefty penalty.
Yeah, so Verline's still got his second attack mode yet to use, because he used his first one right at the start, and he's been holding on to this one. And look at this roll around the outside of the Costa, and is the Costa going to push him in the wall? Oh, almost. The Costa gets through by hook or by crook.
They're giving it everything. Even though there's not much space, they're giving everything to try and go for it, and for most of it, it's pretty clean.
Yeah, the Costa's not had the cleanest race there. Remember, he got stuck behind Bohemia earlier on when there was that collision earlier on with him and Sede Camera. More team radio for Cassidy.
It's on the slow side, but as long as it doesn't bottleneck me.
Okay.
So he says the car is slow, but as long as it doesn't bottleneck.
I think Roland.
Yeah, he's talking about Evans, isn't he?
Yeah, Roland had a look at the inside. DaCosta comes to the swimming pool, and DaCosta shut the door hard on him. Roland almost went into the barrier, which, of course, Fennis tries to sort of lift off. So they're all not playing further back.
You remember Roland almost feeding DaCosta into the wall in Tokyo?
Yeah.
It feels like this is a revenge for that DaCosta is extracting here. DaCosta knows his championship's not particularly likely this season, so he's just trying to drive for revenge, essentially, and just defend like crazy from Roland, who, to be honest, looks like he has a bit more energy at this phase. The Porsche is pretty efficient, so DaCosta's entitled to do that.
And I think we could see some more attack. That's Verline. Verline's using an attack mode now, so that is him done. Good for I think he's going to do it as well. Yes, he does.
That drops Gunfer down to 11th, though, behind NATO.
Outside the points, yeah. That's the danger of not using your attack mode. That's the danger of not using your attack mode at crucial points in the race.
Yeah, it's a bit of a toss-up, though, between you don't want to lose too much ground early on, but you also don't want to get exposed by with the later safety car, everyone bunching together late on when they're managing energy.
Team radio, sorry, Ed. We're at 1-2. At the moment, in my mind, we're at 1-2. Done.
Yep, you're slightly down.
What do you want me on 1-2 if it's a team strategy? So Cassidy's down on energy compared to Evans. So Evans effectively in a team order, keeping him ahead of Cassidy. Cassidy not to overtake.
I think that's very smart.
That's interesting.
That's smart in my opinion, but Ed may have other suggestions.
Well, I suppose it's Cassidy being the team player there, but once again, we've seen that a couple of times this season, haven't we? Where he's basically asked, should I race? Or he's saying, I think the best thing for the team is if I stay put and defend Mitch Evans. And to be fair, that's consistent with the way he's played this race so far, because he was building a gap so that Evans could go into attack mode earlier on.
Yellow turn 1. By the way, no further action between Frantz and Dennis. Incident between DaCosta and Frantz noted.
I think it's debris. No one's dropping down the timing.
Yeah, no one's dropping down the timing. So yeah, it is debris. So it must have been something that happened just a moment ago.
Anyone with any wing missing? Yeah, look there. Vern's got wing damage.
Oh.
It's flapping around on the front left end plate. So he's touched someone.
As long as he doesn't touch Van Dorn, hopefully this won't end in tears for DS Penske. And look at that Verline on his attack mode, getting right close to Jev now.
Yeah, there's Jevs with a bit of wing damage in the front there. This is a great race. I was watching and listening, and I had you two in the ears during the MotoGP. If you listen back when it's uploaded, you'll hear it. But this is fun racing.
That's Formula E for you. I've literally watched this is the first season where I've watched every single race so far, whether it's live or on catch-up. I've not missed a single race this season. And I think that's what we
can't overtake.
Yeah, and that's because we had for the last 7 races we had 6 winners.
That's a great move from Verline.
Oh, Verline's going to try and get a move up the inside. Turn number 1.
Yellow, he can't. Yellow.
He can't do it. Yeah, I forgot the yellow flag's still there.
I've got an explanation
like Jev is
for
really
you.
starting to struggle though.
Yeah,
I've got an explanation for you, by the way, as to why that safety car, why it was safety car, not red flag. Because Michel Bouillon, who is the track coordinator at Monaco, has the ability to overrule the race director, and he said that his boys could do it. So,
which he did, which they did. So fair play.
Yeah.
Take a podium there first here.
Let me go in front of this and try something.
wouldn't.
Risk during the swap, mate, so that's why the decision's not been taken yet.
Yeah. And that's what I said earlier.
He's like,
isn't it?
yeah.
But Jev is thinking about himself here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Not
thinking
the
it,
team.
whereas Cassidy's thinking more about the team. Be like Cassidy.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I think sometimes Cassidy thinks a little too much about the team and not enough about himself, whereas Jev is the opposite.
Track's clear.
Yeah, track is clear, so they're able to go for the move. So watch for Verline on the next lap. When did the added laps we get notified about added laps? With 2 to go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so lap 27 then.
Is this
NATO's
Deriva
got
that?
fastest lap, by the way. Oh, what's happened to Jehan? Is he trying to go up the inside?
Oh, that was on Buemi, I think.
Poor
So Jehan who hit Buemi there. Was that Muller?
Or was that no, Fines is out in the back, so it can't be him. Unless it's a lap down. Muller's in the pits.
No, yellow. Muller's off. Muller's off in the wall.
Turn
He's off with
18.
Anthony
Turn
Noakes.
18.
That's Anthony Noakes. Muller's in the wall. And De Vries passes Tigton, but this could be a safety car. Double yellow now, Jess.
Yeah, it's double yellow, and I just see it by the safety car zone that his car's. Oh God, yeah, it's got to be a safety car.
Both
Yeah,
wheels
right on
off.
the exit of Raskas. That's the Michael Schumacher parking spot.
If we had one safety car, it looks like we're going to get another one.
Well,
We did
coincidentally,
end under safety car last year as well. Remember the rule: if it's within the last 5 minutes, then
There's no
there'll
added
be no
time.
added lap.
Yeah,
Be
so
interesting
I
to
think it
see
should be
if we,
fine
get
then.
going again. We still haven't had the added laps from earlier though.
Oh, I did hear his
They might-
radio.
Looks like Muller's okay.
no, there wasn't anything on the radio, Jess. It went away. I won't put it up.
All right, okay.
Oh, so was that Taylor Barnard that
Safety
spun him
car.
around there?
Safety car.
Was it Hughes?
Was it?
Hughes.
It was Hughes. Yeah.
It was Jake Hughes who was ahead, yeah. So Hughes a bit frustrated as barged Muller out of the way there with a bit of a desperate dive at the inside at Raskas, in my opinion.
So they've deployed the safety car inside the last 5 laps, but we have added laps from earlier to adjust on. So by my reckoning, we're going to have added time and then extra time. So we're going to go over there. So we're going to get the full 7 laps added by my calculations.
Is that the max they can do, Joe?
That is the max they can do. It's in the rules. So you can only do 7 extra laps.
My voice
per
is going to
36 lap
die.
race,
Don't worry, that's why I'm here, Jess. I thought as soon as MotoGP ended, I'll come straight over to help.
Muller's got going again, look.
Oh, yeah.
Or is
Oh,
this a
it's
replay?
Oh, is it a replay?
Oh, it's a replay. It is a
Oh,
replay.
it's a
So,
replay.
because it's so,
Yeah.
And
because
it-
it's so
and the-
distorted, it's hard to tell because you can't see the replay icon.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, and there was one point, Josh, you missed it, where they showed a replay of a Penske spare car on a boat.
No, it wasn't a replay. That was live coverage
Yeah,
just
that-
after Van Dorn
that-
lost the
that
lead,
was,
and they
and-
showed the.
And your favourite celebrity was on the coverage as well.
Oh, really?
Anthony Joshua.
Oh, the famous man.
Well, the good news about this safety car is it gives us plenty of time to admire the PIF logo and all that it stands for.
And Mitch Evans is pit crew.
Yeah, you see, this is the perfect time for those sort of arty shots of, say, a DS Penske in the harbour. Is
Someone's
position
just
change,
lost.
but
Where did?
I think that was just the timing glitch.
I think it was a timing glitch. To cost us 6th.
It's gone very Noah's Ark all of a sudden. Evans Cassidy, Van Dorn Jev, Verline da Costa, Roland Fenestras. So Jaguar, DS Penske, Porsche, Nissan.
Oh, hang on.
Okay. Yeah, go slow through that area there. Marshall's working at the car. Marshall's working with the car.
They've been told to go slow in the area because marshals are working on the car.
Must be Raskas for Muller then.
Yeah.
This is a interesting point in the race. Tigton's got the worst amount of energy, but he can now save it behind the pace car.
Oh, that was nothing. Okay.
I thought he said red flag then. But...
It would have come up on our timing screens if that was the case.
They can bring it in. Safety car's in this lap. Safety car's in this lap. So it hasn't ticked over. I reckon we're going to have 5 added laps in total.
And we should find out at the start of lap 27 if that's the case. They've got to be told soon because of the energy.
really dangerous place there from Bruno Serrera, the safety car driver, to back the pack up coming out of Portier into the tunnel because it's a blind corner. Several of them nearly got caught out there.
Yeah, I saw that as well on a delayed pictures as well, just in case.
It's a difficult one though because he's not exactly gunned it as well. He's at least if he has, Evans hasn't backed off enough. There we go. That's more like it through the back. Then that would have been a more sensible place to try and start this.
I think the people who are in the best positions, particularly, is Verline to try and make some moves. Roland, Costa could try and get up there as well. I'm almost certain that Casti will try and stretch the gap to help Mitch Evans win the race. So that could be good for him as green flag, but it's not telling us what added laps is, but we'll tell it in just a minute as Mitch Evans makes his way through in towards Anthony Nose. So Mitch Evans leads by a 5-10 gap.
2 laps.
It is only 2 laps. Oh, it's 31 laps. I thought it would be 5. Never mind then. So I'm guessing because the safety car was called within the last 5 laps of the scheduled time.
It might only be the first safety car.
Yeah, it might only be the first safety car, so that they don't get any other laps.
Mind you, it was a long safety car.
It was over 7 minutes. It should have been the full duration.
But
it's not a minute per lap here, though.
That's true.
So yeah, race extended by 2 laps according to race control. No major moves as it stands, but it's going to be an all concertina effect through the hairpin. No moves made as of yet. Gunther's got a gap between himself and Norman Nato in 10th spot. Nato at the moment currently occupying the last spot in the points. Nick Cassidy's doing so well.
Teams, isn't it?
Cassidy's doing so well to stretch the gap to Van Dorn.
There's team orders across the board. Cassidy knows he can't attack Evans. Jev knows he's not allowed to attack Van Dorn, but he might try it anyway. Yeah. The Costa is stuck behind Verline, so probably reluctantly play the team game because he wants to keep his seat. And then we've got Roland and Fenestraz, where Roland is just going to go hell for leather to try and get back past the Costa because those two have clearly got some sort of rivalry brewing. And then we've got Gunther, who unfortunately has sort of not been able to take advantage of his attack mode due to that safety car. So it looks like he's going to finish 9th at best here, unless he can get past Fenestraz. And oh, look at this. Roland up the inside of the Costa for Raskas.
Oh, finally, that's the first time I've seen the 4 laps to go in a while on the bottom of the track there.
You know the lights camera? They only showed it in the replay. They had the awful camera at the start.
No! Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I was just because you showed me in free practice one. I was like, oh, I hope they use it for the main race. Guess what? They use it. They only used it in the replay.
Tele Monte Carlo stealing some ideas from FOM, but not being the greatest production still.
No.
Yeah, definitely that shot of the DS Penske show car on the yacht.
And
tells
showing
you need to know about
replays in qualifying of weird things.
Thing is, Tele Monte Carlo was sort of set up with Bernie Eccleston, and they still use his style. Bernie always used to say to the FOM producers, focus on the advertising banners and then drag the camera to the car. And that's exactly what's happening.
PIA.
Yeah, look.
Like that.
If you notice, all the banners are in shot, and then it gives you a headache when you're trying to focus on the cars. Whereas what Liberty do now is, you're always following the car, so it's a smooth motion.
That's why sometimes it's hard to tell which car it is.
And also why that information's not blurred on Vern's dashboard.
If I see a gap behind, we might go for fastest lap try.
Yeah, look, because normally the dashboard's blurred, but we can read it all right in front of us.
And look at that, Jev being told to go for fastest lap, and he's done it behind Van Dorn. So,
there we go.
Yeah. And Oliver Rowland watches on, wishing he was probably in one of those cars.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of. I still am a big fan of Oliver Rowland. I hope that he gets a big role as a sporting director of DS Penske, and that he's allowed to do some more things. Is that Gunther in trouble near the end of this race here?
I think a few people running out of energy as well with the 2 added laps.
Come on, guys.
Nick De Vries isn't far off his first points of the season as well. In 12th, just behind Degrassi.
There's not many moves happening now. They're just playing it safe. I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe they were expecting
it was all
more
so
added laps
good.
at the end.
It was all so good, and now it's just turning to boring.
Oh, is this Gunther with a wobbly front wing?
Oh, he's looking so close to Van der Straat in front, and Van der Straat is helping. Wait, Da Costa's passed. Da Costa's dropped. So Roland's got past Da Costa. Yeah, yeah, I just saw.
Yeah, I noticed that
The
earlier.
33, he
because
stopped,
he made the move at
Oh, no,
Rastas.
he's got going, he's got going.
The Costa's okay, he just lost that place.
Yeah, anyway, Josh.
Buemi and Muller under investigation for causing a collision. So that's a post-race, but I've been doing the calculations. They're all just going to be on energy as we now hit to the added laps. That's why they've only had to buy 2, because the energy wouldn't be enough. So they can't actually follow the rules and add 7 laps.
Ah, so that explains it then.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want another Valencia, and the rules are specifically designed to avoid that.
Yellow turn 1.
Dennis has dropped to the back, but he was already there.
Yeah, he was already there anyway. Yeah. No one has dropped in the timing squeeze. It might be the number 18.
Andretti have had to replace 2 front wings in this race. I think if there's another one, they probably
screwed.
won't have one. They have to retire.
What's the point of that camera angle?
Like, guys,
It doesn't look any better with low latency as well.
No.
Hang on, shall I try and refresh that screen for you for a second? Don't worry, it won't turn off. There you go. There you go.
That's a little better.
We need to figure out a better way for these systems to work so we can all see the pictures together. It's gone green. Oh, Muller. No, Hughes.
What?
Hughes has been given a 5-second
that
time
was
penalty.
the incident in Raskas.
With Muller, yeah. Yeah, where he tagged him around.
Well done, Taylor Barnard. I want to say well done, Barnard.
Barnard has not been involved in anything dodgy. And he's 15. Yeah. That is pretty decent for his last lap of this race then.
I get a pick a winner point.
Lead for Evans.
I get ahead, yes.
I forgot to put my pick a winner predictions because I was so busy.
Oh, I haven't bothered this season, Jess. Yeah, same.
No, I don't worry. I still have time for NASCAR and IndyCar. It's all good.
Look at the Jaguar guys. They're slapping each other on the back like they've already won it.
Oh, and British Touring Cars as well. I need to do that. Actually, no, wait. Is British Touring Cars included in pick a winner? I don't even know.
Oh, for God's sake, Tele Monte Carlo can't even get the music right. They've put the supposed to be final sector music on in sector 1.
Oh, for goodness sake.
They tend to do it throughout the full lap, don't they?
I don't know. I never liked it.
Josh, you were already ahead of me in pick a winner anyway, by 1 point. So you're now 2 points on me.
I'll take that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I turned it off.
Yeah, I did well by getting Verstappen for the sprint and the feature, which I'm probably going to do in Miami as well. But anyway, oh, excuse me, my throat.
You right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Luckily, it's the last time I get to speak properly this weekend. As Mitch Evans has been leading this race from the very start, and Nick Cassidy holding the field up to help Mitch Evans make his way through the swimming pool section for the final time. He has never won in Monaco, just missed out in the last few seasons. He's seen his right, even still Nick Cassidy won last season. But it is Mitch Evans, the other Jaguar, that wins in Monaco. He finally gets a Monaco E-Prix win under his belt. Cassidy takes second and the fastest lap to boot. And we got Van Dorn that gets into third, Vernon fourth. And look at the team celebrating, Ed. Brilliant stuff from Mitch Evans.
Yeah, Jaguar, once they got that lead off of the DS Penske's, they managed it to perfection there. So getting past Van Dorn was the key one.
Radio from
and,
Evans.
Evans did a superb job.
Mitch Evans then takes victory.
I think they're going to throw down to Karun to speak to him. Yeah, here he is.
Racing outfit, a 1-2 finish here on the streets of Monte Carlo.
Think about 3 cars to the penalty.
Let's catch up with Mitch Evans then. Get a bit of team radio.
Yep, let's try and talk to him. Mitch, it's Karun here in the commentary box. Congratulations. You said on the grid, you're hoping for one better, and you got it. Fantastic drive.
Thanks, mate. Honestly, I've been waiting so long for this, even before Formula E, since I've been racing in Monaco, and it's finally come. So, Yeah, it's been great teamwork with Nick. This is for the team, and also for Sir Colin that's recently passed away back in New Zealand. Thanks.
That's it. It's over now.
Yeah, I did say we're probably going to end just before they get to podium because I need to rest my voice, and B, we don't want you to miss the action that we've got coming up with the British Touring Car qualifying, and plus Josh needs to pack.
Oh, I have packed.
Well, you got to what time's your train, Josh?
My train is I leave in 55 minutes time. So I do a little bit of the touring cars. Josh T takes over at the end with Megan, and then I'm on a train for the end of it.
Ooh, so the next time you'll see Josh B will be tomorrow, but since you caught a lot of this race whilst you're watching MotoGP, what are your thoughts on this one?
Classic Monaco. It wasn't exactly the shouting, ballistic one we had over the last couple of seasons since using the full layout, but once again, it was a cracking race. It was a cracking track, and I've thoroughly enjoyed leaving Formula E behind for a weekend, knowing it's in perfectly capable hands with yourself and Ed. So thank you two, and gives me a lot of confidence as well. I wouldn't be able to leave the commentary boxes and go trackside if it wasn't for the amazing team here. So thank you too, and thank you everybody as well on the team.
Thank you, Josh, for giving us the privilege, even though it took us a while to get going because of situations. Ed, your thoughts from this race, and obviously got Berlin in 2 weeks' time, a completely new track layout as well. How's that going to fare in a couple of weeks' time? I'm gutted I'm missing that, actually, because I was looking forward to Berlin.
Don't worry. I'm sure we'll fill you in, and it'll be just like being there on what happened. But yeah, I think it was really a race defined in my eyes by strategy. Actually, I think the beginning, the Sede camera incident was a bit messy with that dive on Buemi that led to the first safety car. Essentially, the sort of sequence of events that led to Mortara with that penalty for Sede car, and then Mortara losing his brakes and going straight into. So it was nothing to do with Dan Ticktum going alongside him. Yeah, I think it was a few more front wings falling off than I'd usually like to see. But overall, I think full credit to Jaguar. They managed that race brilliantly. We thought they would prevail, to be honest, because they were sort of the favourites going in. And so it proved, as we see Mitch Evans getting on top of the car and celebrating. So great to see Mitch Evans take his first win of the season because he needed to get his championship back underway. And yeah, Verline, I think, even though he started on pole, took that early attack mode and was really unlucky with the safety car, I think P5... surviving in P5, I think that's good points for his championship. So he should still be leading it and still finish ahead of Roland, crucially, with Dennis having a bad day. So
yes,
I think even though Verline will be hurting, I think he'll still be feeling he's on track for what he needs to do to win this championship. So if Jaguar keep rocking up the points, they'll be involved in this as well.
Make sure you join us 2 weeks' time for the Berlin double header, so you get double the Berlin action. And we got a lot of clashes again that weekend. It always tends to be Formula E likes clashes for some reason. But we're not done on JBMotorsports today. We've got British Touring Cars up next with their brand new revamped qualifying session. The stream for that starts at 3:15. We've got Josh T streaming and Joshua Birch joining until he needs to go. Then we got the IndyCar Free Practice 2 session on at 5:15 with IndyCar Radio, taking you through the action with Omi streaming. And then we've got IndyCar qualifying on at 8:30 with, again, IndyCar Radio taking you through the action. So, Monaco delivered. Mitch Evans finally gets a win. And it is one of the best races of the season. I've been Jess Bull. He's been Ed Hunter. Thanks to Josh in the background as well. We will see you next time for some more FE action. But till now, enjoy the final few moments of today with IndyCar and British Touring Cars. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Back with us live then here on JB Motorsports as well for all of the action here from the test day. This is session 5. Just quickly, Marcel says, when can we watch it live? This is your only coverage. Literally not even kidding. There is no coverage of this test. Jack Pickering's trackside for us, and he's last day here, so he's given us all the footage and all the cameras and all the interviews. But that's it. We've literally got nobody. There'll be interviews for tomorrow as well. We get updates from trackside, but Formula E aren't covering this test live, so we've got the only thing out there. So we're the only ones doing it. So yeah. Times in this session. Nick de Vries, he's at the fastest at the moment. Then he's gone out there a couple of seconds off the full-time pace. So we're not expecting brilliant, massive lap times here. We're just expecting it to be slow and steady until the end. Of course, this is after the race that happened earlier on today. We had the simulation race. That's going to be uploaded later on here on JBMotorsports and premiered. So at the moment, it's Nick de Vries who's fastest in the Mahindra on a 1:28.010. Then we've got Evans, Mortara, then Buemi, Costa and Beckman, those are in the pit lane. De Grassi in there too. Freins, Muller, Verline, Cassidy. Then we've got Van Dorn, Tickton, Verne, Dennis, Barnard, Roland, Gunther, Hughes, Bird, Nathan, Maloney. They look like they're done for the day. Mortara's just gone second, actually. 1:28.176 to make it a Mahindra 1-2 as well. So all looking quite fun, all looking quite good. Which I think is going to be a nice little sort of relax and go into it and just stay strong. Now, we've got 6 minutes to go before the session ends, so let's wrap up with all our interviews we've had so far today. And let's start with what we heard from Sebastian Buemi back on day one of pre-season testing. He's talking with Jack Pickering as well from Formula E Zone. So what we'll do now is we'll get ready, we'll swap over, and you'll hear some interviews from the drivers as well and get the latest news, views and opinions. Let's hear from them now.
Seb, day one in the car at the official test, how was it for you?
Yeah, interesting day for us. Obviously we had quite a few issues. Clearly, you know, not being a customer team, you do test quite a bit less in between the races. So it was the first time really with the full crew back from London, since London. So lots of things to learn, new tires, really first time for me that I experimented the new tires and the new bodywork. So yeah, felt like didn't really extract the most out of the car today, but we have another 2 days where we can actually really focus on the details.
You mentioned that you did have some problems today. There was a point where you stopped in pit lane. What was the reasoning for that?
Yeah, we had an issue, an alarm on the steering, and because we were in testing, we didn't want to risk anything. But yeah, so we had to come back and check it and understand it. It was nothing special actually, but you just don't want to take extra risk, you know. You just look at everything in detail. Everything we have on the car will be for Sao Paulo, so we don't want to damage anything.
What is it like coming here? Because obviously you've done all the prep for Valencia, where the test was supposed to be, and now we're here in Madrid instead. How much can you cross-reference from what you did in the sim prepping for Valencia, even though you're not actually you're at a completely different circuit?
Yeah, no, exactly. You're right. I mean, it's hard to compare because I've never been here before. I didn't know the track. I don't have any references with Formula E, but clearly, you know, the new tires do feel quite a bit different. The bodywork is different. So there's lots of things that are different. We just need to learn, gather data, understand the tires, understand what makes performance, and see what we can do for Sao Paulo.
All right, cheers, Seb.
Yeah, the Formula E Zone is the place to be for tonight as well for the FE Bar. If you want to have your say and your views on ABB FIA Formula E as well. 4 minutes to go. Let's hear from Eduardo Mortara. He's out there talking as well with Jack now as well. Let's join them.
How are you finding testing so far?
Difficult. I must say that this Yarama racing track is pretty challenging. It's a lot of high-speed corners where, yeah, it's actually pretty demanding for us drivers. On top of that, we have to discover a lot of things. This new Gen 3 Evo car, we have a new powertrain, so there's plenty to do. And yeah, so we are gathering as much data as we can, and hopefully we are going to be able to have the best choices, or right choices, let's say, for the season.
What is it like coming to a circuit where we weren't supposed to be here? So you've had to rock up, do the track walk, and then just go out and just go. And the circuit isn't Formula E realistic. So how much can you really learn from this week?
Yeah, as you said, like it's not really Formula E. Yeah, so we have like usually like some other racing tracks. So we're used to maybe other racing tracks, but it's good to be coming in this I would say old-fashioned like racing tracks where you need a lot of courage, you need to commit. Will it be helpful for us in order to understand what works, what's not working? I've got no idea. Hopefully.
And obviously last year, you sort of built over the season went on, and you peaked in. Obviously, you had the pole in Berlin, but the double points finish in London was huge for the team. But there seems to be like pardon the pun, but a different sort of energy coming out of the team this year. That there is something that you could potentially be fighting consistently for points and potentially the odd podium as well this year. Can you feel the difference from last year's car to this year's car?
Definitely, there's been a lot of work done by the engineers. This year, hopefully this will be enough, let's say, for us to be competitive. We've improved so much in terms of hardware, in terms of software. As you rightly said, in the second part of last year's season, we were already more competitive. We were starting to show a little bit more pace. We were able to grab some good points, effectively in Portland, also in London. It's always good actually to finish well. So hopefully it's going to be good for next year.
All right, cheers, Adam.
Eduardo Mortaro there as well, talking exactly how it should be as well. Nice open conversation he had there with Jack. Got some Jamie Chadwick as well, conversations coming up tomorrow. We'll put all the interviews together tomorrow from Formula E Zone, and we will play them out for you once again. The session then coming to a close here for ABB FIA Formula E Test Session 5. Of course, tomorrow, just 3 more hours. That's all the drivers have before they end and will fly off to Brazil, because on tomorrow afternoon's final 3 hours, it's the women's test for ABB FIA Formula E as well. So they go out there on the circuit, which is fantastic. Can't wait to see them out there on the track as well. But for the Formula E drivers, they're going to have their last session tomorrow, and that'll be in the morning. So bright and early, 8 a.m. GMT, 9 a.m. Central European Time. And in 10 seconds' time, we will be wrapped up for day 3 of ABB FIA Formula E Season 11's testing. It's quite sad, actually. We're nearly all done. Checkered flags out. Session concludes then here. And it concludes with no one setting really good sector times, to be fair. So we've got Nick De Vries on a 128.010. Eduardo Mortara, Mitch Evans, Sebastian Buemi, Lucas de Grassi, Pascal Wehrlein, Antonio Felix da Costa, David Beckman, Robin Freins, Jake Dennis, Nico Muller, Nick Cassidy, Stoffel Van Dorn, Dan Ticktum, Jean-Eric Verne, Taylor Barnard, Ollie Rowland, Maximilian Gunther, Jake Hughes, Sam Bird, Norman Nato, and Zane Maloney. So the flag's out, and they're all going to come into the pit lane now. And that will be day done. Yeah, day done of ABB FIA Formula E testing. And test session number 5 on day 3. Trusting Grid Network have quoted me on one of the backhanders. I said about from Chandler Smith and Cole Custer in the NASCAR series. So yeah, there you go then. Cars just doing their final runnings. They've taken the checkered flag. Everybody has taken the checkered flag, so the session is officially over. We won't go any more into it. Track temperature, 23 degrees. Air temperature, 19 degrees. 61% chance of rain at the moment. And coming into it, we've got no wind speed out there reported on our datas up here in the commentary box. But a nice day, a good full day of running here. And I think that's been crucial to get everything sorted and get everything ready and stable and make sure that nobody was having problems. Zane Maloney didn't get out, though, in that afternoon session. I know there wasn't much to report on that, because if you joined us right at the start of the show 3 hours ago, you know that on the dummy grid, he failed to move, to go into it as well. So I'm just trying to have a look at the situations. It's Mark Prieston's birthday today, actually, as well, just to let you know. Coming into it. So from Lola Yamaha Apt, nothing has actually been said about it. Yeah, their new home, their new Twitter account is on. Yeah, nothing's been said, just fully focused on day 3, so that's a shame. Everyone back in then, last car to come in to pit lane, and that is going to be David Beckman, who's taking the checkered flag. So, Zane Maloney sadly didn't get any winning, more tyres on his lap time deleted as well. Well, into the pit lane, and that wraps up Test Session 5 and Day 3 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. A quick reminder to you that tonight you can join the FE Bar daily testing reviews, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. GMT. So over there in Europe, that's 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Get your voice heard on the FE Bar. Your thoughts on testing, your thoughts on Formula E in Season 11. Get on. It's a call-in show. Get dialing and get in on the Discord call as well. That's the FE Bar tonight on Formula E Zone's YouTube channel. Just type in Formula E Zone and you will get it. My thanks to Jack Pickering for all his hard work. You'll see some of his interviews again tomorrow, but my thanks to him for the live coverage trackside. My thanks again to Ed Hunter as well. And my thanks to all of you at home for joining me. Day 3 done. One more test left for each the drivers and the women's test. Join us on Friday when we wrap up. Thanks for your coverage. Bye-bye.